What's up? 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 What is up? How are y'all doing today? It is Friday, and y'all know what that means. That means we're gonna have us a good old time tonight. I am your host, Emmanuel Eman Noisette, and I want to thank each and every one of y'all for coming out to hanging out with your boy. I want to wish everybody, by the way, a happy Juneteenth. I know it's a little late, but guess what? So was the whole, ending of slavery. So guess what? Even if we're a day late, it'll be all right. So happy Juneteenth, belated Juneteenth, whatever. Y'all gonna celebrate it. Yes, we will. And I also want to wish a happy belated Father's Day to all the dads out there. I know we didn't go live last week. I was actually enjoying my Father's Day. Shout out to the missus and to the kids for helping me have a wonderful Father's Day and just feeling loved, loved and appreciated. That's pretty much what it's all about. So shout out to all the dads out there for sure. Hope you guys also had a great Father's Day. Let me see who has made it out. Let's give a couple quick shout outs to see. Gothic Chick is here first. Okay, shout out to you. Thank you so much for making it out. Come on now, wouldn't be alive without Ms. Harper. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you always. My man, Mr. Hughes, how are you? Thank you so much for being here as well. Paulette, hello. Sam K, what is up? My man Mitch is back. Hello, good to see you. Jay, how you doing? Thank you so much for being here. Treese, what's up? My man Mo is here. Good to see you. Corey, good to see you as well. Thank you so much. We got Dex of Reason here. Thank you so much for being here. Tracy is here. Good to see you. We got Callow. Good to see you. Hello. My man Talented One is back. Good to see you too. What's going on, King Chad? Appreciate you always. Lou is here. Good to see you. Come on through, Jam. Hello. My man Johnny Washington is here as well. Good to see you. Let's see. Got Aloha. Good to see you too. Thank you so much for being here. Rachel, how are you? Let's see. Tyra, appreciate you coming through. Black Action Figure, thank you so much. My man Theo is back. What's going on, Raymond? DePaul, I see you. My man Mike is here too. Hello. Shar, pleasure to have you. Clinton is here. Thank you so much for being here. I see my man Eric is back. We got the homie Rhonda's here. Who else? I saw, there we go. I saw my man Eugene is here. Mary J is here. Kristen, appreciate you coming through. My man Puma is back. Sean is here. Shout out to you. Quiet Riot, hello. And shout out to everyone that has made it out today. I really appreciate y'all for doing that. All right, so just so y'all know, I am going to combine a lot of the news that we missed last week because it was a little dry last week, but I'm gonna still go over some of the news from the week before, and I'll cover obviously this week. So we're gonna have kind of like a combined situation going on. Let's see. Natalie, what you say here? You got to make the mac and cheese for the Juneteenth barbecue. Big Black responsibility. Listen, it is. It really is. Says, I need the strength of the Black Panther. Yeah. Listen, I personally, me and cheese, we don't get along, right? It's just something that don't work for me, right? However, even as someone who does not partake in the cheesies, I understand the significance of the role of making sure you come through on that mac and cheese. Listen, and Natalie, I know you be working out. I know you be in the gym. I know you get your, you get your pump on and all that. But I'm just saying, I've been a firm believer that if you're going to be in charge of that mac and cheese, you're going to have the little arms. You're going to, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have that part right here. Because I just, it's certain foods that if I don't see this on the lady, on the auntie, on the grandma, on the moms in the kitchen, I'm going to have trust issues. So, I ain't trying to body shame nobody. Actually, I'm all about body positivity. I'm just saying, you got to have that little extra down here. I just think it's a badge of honor. That's all, you know. So anyway, good luck on the mac and cheese. I hope you did it right. I hope it works out for you, because some people be getting excommunicated. Like, you will lose cooking privileges if you can't make the mac and cheese right. My wife is in charge of the mac and cheese, and again, I don't partake in it, but my kids swear by it. The family swears by it. So I know she in good company. I know she got it right, you know. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. But thank you so much. All right. JN. Okay, hold that thought. We got plenty of DC stuff to talk about. I will come back to you later once it comes to that topic. All right, let us go ahead. Let's go through a lot of quick updates. We do have a lot to go over. First and foremost, I don't know about y'all. I actually like the TV show Reacher. I like the first season. Second season, I think it kind of sort of, I wasn't feeling it as much. And I haven't watched the third season yet, but I do plan on watching it eventually, right? Anyway, we got Alan Richardson here, who is, you know, he plays Reacher, and he is currently shooting the fourth season. So it is still going to keep going. However, he just got a certain guest pop up on the set. And I don't know if this was planned or not, but it looks like here, Reacher done met the former president, Joe Biden, and his son, Hunter Biden. Listen, all I know is it was nice while it lasted. Thank you, Reacher, for everything you've done. That fourth season is clearly going to be the last, because I got a feeling a certain segment of the population, they not going to like this. They not going to like this at all. Reacher, the big strong guy? What? What? The guy that looks all macho, machismo, and all, he hanging out with the former president? What? Reacher's political? Let me see. Hold on. Let's see. I know somebody. I know. See, look at that. Look at these comments. Look at that. And I'm out. Look at that. Reacher finna get canceled. I mean, I don't care. Right? I don't know. I don't personally care. I have seen plenty of shows and movies with actors or directors who may support political ideologies or political figures that I don't really care for or that I don't vote for. To me, I don't really, you know, that's not a deal breaker for me, you know, at the end of the day. Now, unless it gets personal, you know what I'm saying? Like if a certain director is like, yo, screw all black people. Okay, guess what? You don't need my money. But if you just got a political difference or whatever, I might wait for your movie to come on streaming. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, it seems like this is definitely going to upset a certain segment of the population. It was nice while it lasted for Reacher. Anyway, I don't know. This was a little before my time, but I didn't, you know, I was late to Star Wars. So for me, I didn't really jump on this bandwagon until much later, and I still haven't watched the full thing. But I don't know if y'all have ever watched Spaceballs before. It was a parody of Star Wars. It starred Rick Moranis, and apparently they're going to bring it back and do a Spaceballs 2. And Rick Moranis, who, if you remember from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and other movies in the past, he's coming back. He was in retirement. He retired. I forgot why he retired. I don't know if it was like to spend time with his family or whatever, but he retired from acting. But he is making a comeback for this. And Bill Pullman is also going to return as well. So if you are a Spaceballs fan, I'm imagining that this is actually really good news for you. So feel free to let me know how you feel about it. Now this was something else. Now we have talked about He-Man and Masters of the Universe. And I was the first person that was getting on. Oh boy, what's his name? Nicholas Galitzine. I don't want to butcher his name too bad, but the dude was looking kind of thin, kind of frail. And we saw a couple pictures of him in the gym, and he was putting in that work. He was putting in the work. So now we actually have our first official image of what He-Man is going to look like in live action. And here it is. Now, it's not like this man is like crazy big, but he's a lot bigger than what he started at before. And I have to give him credit for this. It is not easy. Anybody that works out, not just, hey, I ran on a treadmill. No, I'm talking about people that lift weights. This is not easy to add so much muscle, especially in this short amount of time. Usually people be like, oh man, I don't want to lift. I'm gonna get bulky. Listen, unless you got a trainer, lots of money to make sure you eating right, and you eating over your caloric, intake, and you working out like crazy, and you might need a couple enhancements, supplements, and such. This ain't easy. So for him to do this, I give this man credit for that. Now, I personally still believe he didn't have to do all this. He could have played the regular Prince Adam, and y'all could have just had Alan Richardson right there. Right there. Alan Richardson could just come in, no work needed, and he would be the perfect He-Man right there. But either way, at least going off of this photo, it looks like my man put in the work. Good for him. Good for him. So shout out to him for that. Isn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy when you have actors training for a role? I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. No, not gonna do it. Not too easy. Too easy. Not gonna do it. What else do we have? We have Roadhouse. I don't know if y'all like Roadhouse or not. I enjoyed it. It wasn't the best movie, but I enjoyed Roadhouse, the remake, and this starred Jake Gyllenhaal, and it was a decent little movie. It was supposed to go into theaters, but it ended up going to streaming. And now we got a Roadhouse 2, and they looking to add Dave Bautista to star in the film. Now, we don't know how he's going to star. We don't know, what exactly he's going to do. But I'm imagining getting someone Dave Bautista size, and I know he's lost a little weight, but I think that, he might come in as the bad guy. And listen, at this point, Dave Bautista has upgraded his acting resume and his ability to the point where this doesn't bother me. I'm very okay with this. Dave Bautista, whatever he wants to be in, I'm fine with it. I'll watch it. So I'm cool with it. I didn't even know they were doing a sequel, but if you're going to give me Dave and Jake Gyllenhaal, who I still believe, can I just say this real quick? Because, I posted this earlier. I really do believe that Jake Gyllenhaal is one of the most underrated actors in our time right now. And I'm saying this as like, this man puts great work on the screen. This man does, in my opinion, award level performances and stuff. And I mean, he did get his accolades and nominations and stuff in the past, but I'm just saying, like, go watch Prisoners, right? Go watch Nightcrawler. Like, this dude is a fantastic actor. And even to this day, I keep telling people, and maybe people won't believe it until they see it, Jake Gyllenhaal could easily be Batman, and he could easily be Joker. And I'm firmly believing that if he ever played the DCU Joker, he could win an award just like Heath Ledger, just like Joaquin Phoenix. He's that good. Maybe some people aren't ready for that conversation. I don't know. But Jake Gyllenhaal, he needs more credit. I know this movie, Roadhouse, probably isn't the best showcase of it, but I'm tired of this man not getting his credit. I'm tired of it. People need to understand this guy can do things. But anyway, I like the Dave Bautista edition. I think that's pretty solid. Now we have, we did talk about this. We talked about how American Psycho was looking for their next actor who could play that role. We know that Christian Bale stepped in, did a phenomenal job, really kind of put him on the map when he played that role. And I know some people were saying like Austin Butler could get the role, but it looks like there's somebody who's leading the conversation or might be at the top of the list. And it's probably someone you did not suspect. I know I didn't suspect him at all. But apparently, it's a Schwarzenegger. That's right. Patrick Schwarzenegger, Arnold's son, is very much on the radar for the role of Patrick Bateman in the new American Psycho film. Now, again, this is not finalized. This is more like in the talks. But if you watch White Lotus, I have not watched White Lotus. I believe he's pretty popular on there right now. I think he got it. I think he could do this because, for one, if you're going to play the American Psycho in today's world, you need to have somebody that looks as unsuspectingly Caucasian as possible. Yes, I said it. You have to have someone that the average person would never, ever think twice is actually a psycho. He's got the look. He's got the demeanor. The question is, does he have the acting range? Now, I do believe that he can do it, but, he's got the first part down. He's got the unsuspecting, quiet part down. That's fine. I need to see this man's transformation. So I think he can do it. I think he'll do a good job if he gets his role. Now, some of the suspicion is that he needs to, or some people were saying that he was potentially going to play Cyclops in the X-Men. So if he plays Cyclops, he might not have time to play this. So we don't know. But if they go this route, I'm okay with it. I'll take it. And here's the thing. It's not like you can't find other unsuspecting looking actors, but you do. The most important thing is you need somebody with that acting range. And before anybody even says anything, by the way, like, keep in mind, Christian Bale was not Christian Bale when he had this role. Like, he was also just starting off. So, this could be a role that could propel Patrick to even higher heights, maybe. Next up, oh boy. All right, I need some of y'all to calm down because we're going to talk about some of y'all goats. Not my goat, but some of y'all goats. But we're not going to go there. Apparently, the current king of the NBA, LeBron James, had some other aspirations if and when, whenever he's done with basketball. And he says here, he would like to explore acting after his basketball career. He said, if the script starts to roll in and there's an opportunity for me to do some acting and I have the time, obviously, post-career, I don't mind looking at it. Mr. LeBron, please don't. We've seen Space Jam 2, unfortunately. Please don't. Just what I would hope you would say is that you would look into acting classes first. I'm not trying to step in front of your bag, sir. Okay? You can do whatever you want to do. I'm just saying, I would hope that you would take acting as a profession more seriously, because what you did in Space Jam let me know I don't need to see you in nothing else. You could be the executive producer. You can show up and play yourself, right? Hey, we're doing something. We're watching LeBron James play basketball. That's fine. But if you over here saying, "Oh, I'm finna be in the next Matrix movie," no, thank you, no, thank you. So just be the businessman. Ain't no shame in that. Even my main man, Kobe. Okay, my main man, Kobe. My man was an executive producer, won an Oscar and everything. That's fine. That is okay. You don't have to be in front of the camera. I'm just saying. That's an option too. But y'all let me know. Do y'all want to see y'all can be in front of the camera like that? Feel free to let me know. Now here's something else. We got this was a show on Netflix, and I've heard nothing but good things about it. I was about to get on this show, but and this is classic for Netflix. The moment you hear about a good show and you about to jump on there, boom, all of a sudden it gets canceled. So of course I'm like, well, why would I go watch the previous seasons if there's, no continuation or no conclusion? Like, I don't want to watch it if y'all just gonna leave me hanging like that, right? So apparently, for those of y'all that have watched this and that are excited for this, we got some good news for Mindhunters. It says here, Mindhunter could potentially return in the form of 3 2-hour movies. Let's see. Holt McClenney met with David Fincher, who floated the idea, and it says David has to be happy with the scripts. So if they do this, I think that this could be a good thing. I like the fact, because from what I remember in the reporting, they said that Mindhunter had to stop or it wasn't renewed because it cost Netflix too much money. Netflix, even though they got money for days, they do not invest in things if the numbers don't make sense for them. So if you're not the highest rated, you're not getting the most eyeballs, they're going to have an issue with that, and they're not going to renew the shows or whatever. Now, it could always get picked up somewhere else. Personally, I thought that Mindhunter, it felt like a show that you would watch on HBO Max. So I'm like, man, if y'all could sell this, or if it can go to HBO or some other place, that might be a better place for it anyway. But if they do come up with this idea to just do a couple of movies and that wraps everything up, I would support that. I like that. Matter of fact, I wish more unresolved TV shows would do something like that. Hey, The Wire, right? The Wire season 5, I never liked how they ended. It was because of the writer's strike, so it was obviously interference that way. But give me a final movie to really wraps up. I'll watch that. I will watch that. But y'all let me know. Anybody actually watch Mindhunters? Anyone like it, or whatever y'all think? Feel free to let me know in the comments. Now we've talked about this too. Tom Cruise, right? We've talked about Tom Cruise, talked about Jackie Chan. We've talked about the Oscars finally doing a stunts category and honoring stunt choreography and stuff like that. Well, it seems like they kind of heard the message, because I was saying, like, y'all better go honor Tom Cruise some other, like, y'all got some makeup to do, including Jackie Chan, right? Well, it says here that Tom Cruise will be getting an honorary Oscar this year. The Academy is giving him the Oscar for his commitment to our filmmaking community, to the theatrical experience, and to the stunts community. So I think there are a couple issues with this, right? Tom Cruise absolutely deserves an honor, an award for what he's done in Hollywood, right? Top Gun Maverick, the way that he's just really been an advocate for even other movies. Like, this man would show up for Sinners, he would show up for Christopher Nolan movies. Like, he shows up to lend his star power. He tried it with The Flash, it didn't work, but he's a very big proponent and advocate for Hollywood. So it totally makes sense to honor him for that. It also makes sense to honor him for the stunts. What I don't like is that I believe that this will be at the governor's award or whatever ceremony. In other words, this is that Hollywood Oscar ceremony that's not on TV. It doesn't get the airtime. It's not prime time. It just happens, and then we get like the little highlights later. I don't like that. They did that to Sam Jackson. They did that to Denzel Washington. I think that is. I don't like that. Keep that award for the other stuff that, let's just say, are behind the scenes. People don't know. Okay, here's the cinematography. Here's the the background, I don't know, whatever. Tom Cruise, if you're gonna give him an award, that needs to be during your Oscar presentation. You know what I'm saying? Like, that needs to be in the middle of Oscar night while the ratings are up. That's when you honor him. Don't put it on that off-screen ceremony. I don't think that that's right. But y'all let me know, how do you feel about Tom Cruise getting this award? Do you think it matters if it's on screen or not? Maybe, hey, he's getting it, so whatever. Feel free to let me know your thoughts. What else? We also have an Invincible season 4 update. Now, Invincible seasons I love Invincible so far. It's been getting crazy and more violent as we go. And I have intentionally not read the comics because I don't want things spoiled for me. I'd rather the cartoon just do it on its own. But Robert Kirkman, the creator, says that Invincible 4 really ramps up and sticks the inclusion of Thrag. Now, I don't know who Thrag is, but people have been talking about Thrag. I've seen images and I've quickly looked away, but I'm assuming Thrag is a problem. I'm assuming he is a problem. Kirkman says you might have been like, hey, when is there going to be more Viltrumite stuff? And he says, I will say that season 4 has more Viltrumite stuff that you might be wanting. So I can't wait, because I keep seeing this dude's image pop up. Thankfully, nothing or no one has been spoiling it, but I cannot wait. I'm here for it. The Viltrumite stuff that we saw last time was amazing. It was crazy. So I am looking forward to this. First of all, what was the last dude's name? The old guy. He was a problem. Oh my God. That dude was psychotic. He was psychotic. So I'm looking forward to this. I can't wait. I want to see how this goes down. I'm here for it. Anything and everything, Invincible, I'm here for it. Next up, we have some Ironheart news. Maybe you heard about this in the news recently, but as you guys know, Ironheart is coming out on Disney Plus. From what I understand, I think instead of dropping all the episodes all at once, I think Marvel is doing an interesting strategy. They're going to drop half the episodes. So it's only 6 episodes in total. So they'll do 3 and 3. So they'll drop half the episodes and then the other half like later. So now I'll be honest, there have been a lot of red flags when it comes to Ironheart. Like Ironheart, just the fact that it was delayed, the fact that Marvel is doing the let us drop it all at once kind of sort of strategy, a lot of that signals we know this might not be great. Also, given all of the racist, sexist backlash, I feel compelled to cover it just to give it some, some attention. And I hope that it's better than, people expect. I know some people have watched it already. I have not watched my previews yet, so I'm gonna probably watch those maybe later tonight or over the weekend. At least from what I've heard so far, people are saying it's fine, like it's okay, and I believe that. Like, I don't think it's gonna be terrible, but I am interested in seeing how this goes one way or another. And I've already gone on my whole rants about Ironheart and all that, but one interesting development is that Robert Downey has been coming out in full support of Ironheart, and he was recently showed up on Good Morning America. He sent a message of support to Dominique Thorne ahead of the Ironheart release. He said, "Miss Thorne, I couldn't be happier than seeing you bringing Riri Williams to life. Iron Man loves Ironheart." And they had that nice little moment on there. And here's the thing. I like this, right? I like it. But if we can be real for a moment, if we can just be honest, this, and I don't even want to call it a stunt, but this move, I feel like, it's a way to try to get ahead of the negativity, right? It's a way to say, hey, we're going to be completely honest here. We already know there's racist, sexist commentary against Ironheart, right? So the best thing that Marvel Disney could think of is, let's get our popular white male character to figuratively put my arm around her shoulders and say, I support her, right? This is similar to if you watch the movie 42 with Chadwick Boseman, where he played Jackie Robinson, and the popular, famous white baseball player at the time, while Jackie was getting booed, he goes out there and he puts his arm around Jackie Robinson. It's kind of that same energy that's going into this. And I'll just say this, like, listen, it's not the worst thing in the world, right? Like, at least it's something. It's a half measure, but at the same time, like, I like the studio trying to do something rather than what Star Wars used to do and just leave them out in the cold, right? When the bigots would attack a lot of the minority characters or any of the characters, Star Wars used to just sit back and not say anything and just be like, "Oh well, may the force be with you," like, nah, like, I'm cool with this. I like the fact that Downey is at least going out there and showing some support. And by the way, in case you thought that they still there's no racism, there's no issue, listen, they still turn off their comments because they already know the negativity and bigotry that's gonna come. So that's still a thing, sadly. But shout out to Downey at least doing his part. It is what it is. So I'm okay with that. What else we got? Oh, just for the sake of knowing this, fresh off of Juneteenth too. Sinners Sinners will be coming on HBO Max July 4th. I love that. I just love that. So in case you were looking to get your fix in again, go ahead and watch it on HBO Max on July 4th, the 4th of July. Man, listen, I hope they play that every 4th of July. They should drop it on Juneteenth, but I'm okay with this too. I'm okay. Give us some alternatives. I'm okay with this. So if you are looking forward to that, that will be coming to streaming soon. And do we have some more? Yeah, we got one more quick topic. Now, this is something, listen, we've talked about this before, and we'll talk about it again. Okay. I've talked about Blade multiple times. Like, there's no way you could be on my channel and not hear me talk about Blade. Not too long ago, we heard David Goyer, who wrote the first Blade movie. He came out and he was like, yo, I don't understand. What's the problem? Like, what's Marvel doing? Get it together, right? And he said that, yo, if Marvel wants me to come back, I'll come back. I'll do that. I'll do it. So David Goyer was out doing another interview or podcast or whatever, and he also continued that same sentiment one more time. And he said here, Blade is relatively simple story. It should have insane butt kicking. It should be pretty scary, might be rated R, and it should not be complicated. There is one thing here that I absolutely disagree with. There ain't no might be rated R. Let that thing be rated R. Let it be rated R. There's no reason not to. Just let it be rated R, because I don't want to hear no, oh, well, we couldn't do all that blood. Listen, if Wolverine can be rated R, Blade can be rated R. If Deadpool can be rated R, Blade can be rated R. There ain't no excuses. Ain't no excuses for this. I want lots of blood. I want lots of violence. Chop off them vampire limbs. I don't want no censorship. Because some people might say, oh, well, what's the problem if it's PG-13? The problem is the fact that they have to decrease the amount of violence if it's PG-13. They can't show as gratuitous violence if it's PG-13. So I'm not sitting here saying, oh, Blade got to go cussing and showing them vampire cheeks. I ain't saying all that, okay? This ain't got to be a True Blood type of thing. I'm just saying I want all the violence and no restrictions. That's all, okay? And maybe some mother effers trying to skate uphill. Maybe some of that too. Maybe, but anyway, completely agree with David Goyer on this. I have to find my I made a pitch about Blade, about how simple it could be. I got to see if I can go back to the videos and find it. But there's no reason, absolutely no reason why Blade should take this long, should be this complicated. It is not hard. We are not looking for Blade to be another Avengers type level movie. If you can make Thunderbolts, you can make Blade. You don't need a big budget. You already got your Academy Award winning, two-time Academy Award winning actor. You already have the script or the writers. Like, this should be easy. This should be easy. But anyway, y'all let me know, how do you feel about what the Blade writer had to say? Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Okay. There's a lot of quick updates, but we made it. All right. Natalie, what you got? The hang time is why I'm in the gym. Okay. I'm bringing a veggie tray too, but using my granny's recipe with lactose milk and hard cheeses. See, that's the key. That's the key. From what I understand, again, I am not a mac and cheese connoisseur. I just listen and observe from those that dine on it. You got to have the right combination of cheeses, not just one cheeses. Okay, so the fact that you on the plural with the cheeses and the lactose-free milk, that's an old school play. Y'all don't understand. Some people can't process it, but listen, I support you. Good luck. All right, Eric, we need an Andor update. Okay. Listen, you beat me to the punch. Okay, let me go ahead and give y'all my finally, I have completed season 1 of Andor. Per popular request, let me go ahead and just post this news as well. Andor managed to be number 1 on Nielsen's streaming charts during the week of the show's final episodes. The show was viewed for over 931 million minutes overall during that week. Now, that is in reference to season 2. I have not gotten there yet, so I am not going to comment on it. I'm just going to say, good for them. Now, as for my thoughts on season 1. Okay. It's no secret that I have had a lot of difficulty watching this season. So let me just get the bad out the way first. This was long. It felt long. It felt like a chore. Yes, I fell asleep multiple times. I mean, and this is during the day. Like, I know watching at night is one thing. I'm a night owl, but yikes. Like, episode 3, I struggled the most. Episode 4, I absolutely struggled. Episode 5, I had to rewatch, even though it was a setup for the heist. It was a problem. And I understand a lot of people like the writing and they're like, oh, this is the best Star Wars. I get it. The dialogue is dry. The dialogue is heavy. It is dense. And you just have to have that level of attention to really appreciate it. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it is thick, right? It reminds me, for example, I love Tolkien, J.R.R. Tolkien. I love The Hobbit. I love the Lord of the Rings, right? I read those books as a kid in 8th grade, right? So clearly these are books that are fine, right? For an 8th grade level reading. The Silmarillion? Hell no. That's what Andor feels like. Andor felt like the Silmarillion. And if you've ever read that book, I don't care how much of a Lord of the Rings fan you are, that book is tough because it goes into a whole lot of stuff. It's a lot. So anyway, that is where I'm with this, right? Like with the bad. Let me talk about the good. When this series turns up, is absolutely the heist scene, very good. Loved it. The prison situation, also fantastic, right? And then of course the last episode with the whole rebellion and stuff. You have me. I'm there. Good job. That reminded me of why I liked Rogue One so much. It's not that I have a problem with, oh, there are no lightsabers and all that stuff. I mean, I want my lightsabers in my Force, but Rogue One got to the point. Rogue One, it was a 90-minute movie. It didn't take forever to get to the heist. That's what I liked about it. And then, of course, they sprinkled in Darth Vader at the end. So I love Rogue One because it was condensed. It told a story, and that was it. This was like, man, this reminds me of people that love the extra of Star Wars. Like, yeah, I watch the movies. Yeah, I watch the TV shows, but I also read the novels, right? That the novel, that's another layer. That's another level of Star Wars that's not for everybody, right? I'm on the first two levels, right? Movies, TV shows, the books, I'm good on that. I'm good. I'm just not that invested in it. So anyway, overall, Andor definitely has some good quality in it. I'm talking about season 1. And I definitely enjoyed the parts that revved up. I had a lot of a struggle with the in-between fluff. Some people might not consider it as fluff because it's showing you all the insides, crevices of the rebellion on the ground level, and that's totally fine if you appreciate that. Let me actually give you guys a slightly different analogy, because this was an analogy that I think helped me understand what this was. Star Wars, as George Lucas said it, it was originally made for 12-year-olds, right? Like every movie is supposed to be something that if a 12-year-old walked in, they would understand it, they would get it, that's it. So obviously, being around for over 40-something years, it's not a surprise that people that are not 12 years old are craving something more mature, deeper, more significant, more, thematic. That's understandable. But keep in mind, for 40 years, we've been getting 12-year-old level sci-fi entertainment. The closest I can use as an analogy is Star Wars is kind of like Tyler Perry movies. It's like the Medea movies, right? You know what you're going in for. You know it's going for a certain targeted audience, right? Black audiences, old school culture, South, whatever you want to call it. We know the Tyler Perry audience. That's what Star Wars is. We have a certain audience. We ain't trying to go deep. We just going to show some flashy lightsabers and the Force. That's it. Good versus evil. What Andor is, to me, is it's like Macbeth but it's like Macbeth with Denzel Washington. Like, yes, the black folks that love Medea, they probably love Denzel, but they probably don't watch Macbeth. They probably don't read Macbeth. So I feel like when you take Shakespeare and put it in Star Wars, that's what Andor is. So if you like Shakespeare, then you're going to like Andor. You know, like that's where I feel like this dichotomy lies between the two. And that's why I'm not going to berate or belittle people that love Andor. But what I will say is, I think that when you have a franchise that has catered to a specific audience for 40 years and you drastically shift the tone, the themes, and just everything else, it's understandable how it might not appeal to that audience that's already been accustomed to it. Now, if Star Wars continues to do more Andor-like stuff, then I do think that you're going to get a different type of audience to start to appreciate it. The people that only want the Force and the lightsabers and the good and the evil, they might start to fall off, but you might start to get other people that are like, ooh, that theme of oppression and rebellion and the politics, I like that. Maybe I'll give Star Wars a shot. So anyway, was Andor my favorite in Star Wars? No, it was not. Personally, I still think that maybe if we're talking about live action TV, I still like the first season of The Mandalorian more. Personally, that's just for me. Do I think that Andor season 1 is trash? No. But at the same time, I also would not say that it was something that I'd ever want to revisit. I'm not mad that I watched it. I am mad that I got a lot of sleep when I didn't want to. But if I had to give it a rating, and this is just my rating, so y'all can have yours, I would give season 1 probably a 6.5 out of 10. And it probably would be higher because technically it's done very well. Technically, visuals, solid, writing, it's all there. But on an entertainment level, I was not thoroughly entertained. Those 3 episodes out of 12 or whatever were the only times that like really picked me up. That's not a good batting average, right? So anyway, that's my thoughts on Andor season 1. Now, from what I've seen y'all say, y'all have been saying that season 2 is a lot better. So I've trusted y'all to even finish watching this because I'm already this invested in Andor season 1. Now I do feel compelled to keep watching into season 2. I'm hoping that because it's the final season, they don't take that long to like build stuff up anymore. Like they just get to the meat and potatoes, right? So I'm interested in that. I'm looking forward to at least a better season. So I'll see. You know, I'm seeing people saying that it's better paced. You'll like it. Okay, that's cool. It's great. I'm looking forward to it. I will watch season 2 next. So I was about to say the job is done, but I thought about my man Kobe. Job's not done. Job is not done. I still got season 2 to go. And hopefully I will have a better time with it. Hopefully. So there you go. I have done it. I have finished Andor season 1. I already know some of y'all not going to feel the same. That's okay. But this is why I give my opinion. Anyway, y'all let me know. What did y'all think about Andor season 1? Don't talk about season 2. What did y'all think about season 1? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I know some of y'all felt I'm gonna read the comments later. I know I have to read the comments later because I got a feeling I might have stirred up the pot for some people. Let's see, Dex, what you got? 3 episode drops is their formula. Helped Andor top Nielsen's charts. I think it's business as usual while trying to ignore the obvious red flags. I don't know if I'd say it's business as usual, but we have seen them mix things up, right? So sometimes they'll drop the first 2 episodes, sometimes they'll drop like 3, but I do think that it's an issue if you giving out half of the entire season. Like if you're talking about 3 episodes, but you have like 8, that's fine. But if you only have 6 episodes, which I believe Ironheart only has, that doesn't sound like a lot of confidence to me. That sounds like, you like, man, let's just get this over with. Because if you think about it, when you drop things on a weekly basis, you give that show the potential to grow via word of mouth, right? Like even if people didn't watch the first one, if the second week comes out and they're like, yo, this is actually pretty good, you could keep climbing those charts that way. But if you're basically saying, okay, you got 2 weeks to watch this whole thing, that lifespan is pretty short for a streaming show already has hella competition. So it's definitely like it's a choice. It is a choice. Let's see. Season 1, what you got? Season 1 was meh. It doesn't get good till midway through season 2. Then it's excellent to close out. Your struggle gets rewarded. Okay. So what you're describing right now is the type of person that I am. I'm a destination person. We will talk about this later when we get to 28 years later. I told y'all 2 types of people, destination and the journey. Right now, the journey through Andor ain't that great for me. I don't like that. However, there are people that are like, yo, I like the journey. I don't care how it ends, but if the journey is cool, I like it. I need the destination to justify that terrible journey I just went through. So based off your comment, Talented One, it sounds like the destination is going to help me feel rewarded so I won't feel so bad about the journey getting here. So I'm going to take your word for it. I know Rhonda also swears by it. I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm gonna take y'all words for it. I know Tracy been all over the place trying to get on me about this as well. Listen, I'm doing what I can. I'm doing what I can. All right, let's move on. Do we want to do that? No. Oh, okay. What is this? Hold on 1 second. Okay. Here's a funny thing. Let's talk about this. Mortal Kombat. So, Mortal Kombat has a new live action franchise that's been coming out, right? And we saw the last one. I believe I had gotten caught up in a moment of recency bias. I was so excited for Mortal Kombat that I remember I've completely forgot almost all of the bad stuff until I like sat down, let it marinate, and then I was like, ooh, no, nah, this wasn't it. Like it was, yeah, it just wasn't it. It was not it. It was mediocre at best. And they messed up with the whole Cole storyline. We didn't even have a tournament in Mortal Kombat. It was just not a good movie. It had potential. It had a lot of potential. Shout out to Scorpion, the dude that played Sub-Zero. Like it had potential, but they dropped the ball with that. So what's it was interesting because I followed the producer who God, I think his name is Todd Gardner. I hope I don't say that wrong. But I follow the producer of Mortal Kombat, and he's always sharing like all these updates about what's going on. And he shared this particular update, and I remember I responded back to him, and I was like, what is this? So I wanted to share the update with you guys and the actual article and talk about like what my issue was with this. Now, in case you did not know, the writer for Mortal Kombat 2 is Jeremy Slater. Jeremy Slater, in case you don't know, He is the writer. He did the 2015 Fantastic Four. He did the Umbrella Academy, and he did Moon Knight, right? On Marvel. So he's also doing this Mortal Kombat movie, and he has said that there is going to be a tournament this time, so that's good news. And he was doing an interview, and he was talking about how like the script and the movie, I think it is completed already, and he was like, I think we nailed it. He was like, I think we nailed it. So I said, okay, let's look at his actual interview and what he said. He said here, I'm so excited for people to see the movie. It's been done for a while. We've been waiting for the right release date and waiting for the right window. I have been to those test screenings, which are full of Mortal Kombat fans, and watching them react to it is the way I reacted to Avengers Endgame. Whoa. They were cheering and jumping out of their seats. Every joke is landing and they are loving it. It's one of the greatest moments of my life. That's why you get into this business. It's so much funnier and bigger than the first movie. Let us go through just a couple things that I think are a little problematic here. So he went to the test screenings, which is not bad, right? You do need to test these things to see how they land with the audience. Here's the first red flag. You had a bunch of Mortal Kombat fans. Now, I am not saying that being a Mortal Kombat fan is a bad thing. What I am saying is that when you have people in a screening that are already fans of the franchise, you run the risk of them being completely biased in a positive way because it's an advanced screening. Not only do they get to see the movie early, but they also get to see a movie that they already are predisposed to probably like. So how do you really know that you're getting the real authentic reaction to the film? And let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. I remember when I went to Hollywood, I went to LA for the Thor, I was gonna say Ragnarok, hell no, the Thor Love and Thunder screening. Now, if you have watched my reaction when I came out that theater, let me tell you something. I was on my phone. I was like, I mean, Love and Thunder. But the people behind me, oh my gosh, Thor Love and Thunder, it's the best Thor ever. Oh, I can't believe this. They did it again. And I'm sitting here like, what did y'all watch? And I'm looking, and I remember looking at the audience. They had people that were dressed up in cosplay. They had obvious Marvel fans. And they had all these people in there that already were like excited just to be at the red carpet, just to watch the movie with the actors in the theater and all of that stuff. And then when they come out, they're already online. This is the best movie ever, the best love Thor. You know, I'm sitting there like, what? See, that's why I don't trust. If you're going to do a test screening, I would rather you have random people. Just have a random selection of people and not just a hyper-focused amount of like Mortal Kombat fans. I understand, yes, you need to appease the fans, but guess what? Them fans are going to show up anyway. What you really want to do is see, will this appease that other random person that maybe never even picked up the game before? Because that is how you take your movie to another level, when you appease the outside crowd and not the in crowd. So that's my first red flag right there. But then, why did you even mention this? He said, I was watching this and I reacted the way I reacted to Avengers Endgame. Why are you putting Avengers Endgame? I'm sorry. Why are you putting any Avengers, just a mention of Avengers, in the same conversation as Mortal Kombat? Like, I need y'all to be careful with your words. I need you, because people will listen to this, they will see that and be like, oh, so I'm gonna have some Cap lifting up the Thor's hammer reaction. Oh, I'm gonna have a on your left reaction. Oh, I'm gonna have a I am Iron Man reaction. Like, hey, chill out. Chill out with those kind of comparisons. Okay. Leave Avengers out your mouth when it comes to anything that's not Avengers. Because you're not going to compare a $2.5 billion movie to whatever this is going to be. Please don't. Last but not least, biggest red flag for me, funnier and bigger. Why? Why? Now, this was the part that I said to the producer, and he actually responded. So I was like, listen, I'm a big Mortal Kombat fan, and I am. I enjoy the stories, I enjoy the games, all of that. But bigger and funnier are not the words that give me as a fan more encouragement to go watch a Mortal Kombat movie. I'm not looking for funnier in a Mortal Kombat movie. Now, if you told me bloodier and more violent, that's all I need to hear. That's it. But if you sitting here talking about, oh, we finna put all these jokes and we finna be all funny, there's a problem with that. And I saw one of my followers had said something, and they were like, well, even the Mortal Kombat games, they had a little comedy in there. They did a couple humorous things, and that's true, right? It is true. You would have the friendship, fatality, or just different little things that were little gags, little inside jokes. I understand. Okay. I am a fan. I totally get that. Here's the difference. When you're doing something like this, especially coming off a film that did not do very well, the last thing you want to do is add unnecessary risk. What I'm talking about is comedy. Comedy is subjective. Everybody don't laugh at the same stuff. Some people like dark humor. Some people like campy humor. Some people like goofy, silly humor. Some people don't like neither one of those. Some like sarcastic humor. Some like dry humor. You're adding unnecessary components to your movie that don't need it. Nothing about Mortal Kombat needs funnier, right? So here's what's going to happen. You might have this movie and turn some people off just because it's bigger and funnier, where all you had to do was just make it more violent and probably darker, right? Like, you got to make it like a real serious thing. And I think that'll be it. That's all you need. I mean, even when you play the games, right? When you're playing the games, do they have characters that do funny things? Sure. So Johnny Cage will say some funny line or whatever, but the overall tone of Mortal Kombat is not funny. Earth is on the line and mofos are dying left and right in these tournaments. It's not funny. So I'm just looking at this like, yo, I don't know if you really understand the assignment. You're giving me pause right now. Okay. I don't see Liu Kang cracking jokes, right? Johnny Cage, yeah, he gonna say some dumb stuff here and there. I get that. But if you try to make the whole movie, listen, if one dude pops up talking about some whoopsie, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. Like, just don't do it. Don't do it. The movie's supposed to be serious. The character should be serious. The tournament should be serious. If you want to have light moments of humor, fine. But please don't do this. Don't. Y'all gonna mess this up. Y'all gonna mess this up. So anyway, what do y'all think about this? How are you feeling about the upcoming Mortal Kombat movie? Is this giving you any type of, and I should say, to be fair, Todd responded to me and he did say, you can absolutely bet that it is more bloody and more violent. And I'm like, okay, like that's what I want to hear, but y'all still got me worried with this funny stuff. You still got me worried with it. So anyway, what do y'all think? How do y'all feel? Are y'all looking forward to this upcoming Mortal Kombat movie? Whatever you think, just let me know in the comments. Let's see. Nelson, the same fans who love Thor hates Ironheart. I wonder why. And we will talk about that soon. But I wonder why. Because it's real interesting. How, I'll save that thought for later. I've said it before, but I'll say that for later. But yeah, good observation. Let's go to let's do this one. All right. Let's talk a little bit about John Wick. So we already know, by the way, in case you still haven't seen it, please go watch Ballerina. I think Ballerina was like solid. I gave y'all my review before. It's on my channel. Really, really enjoyed that as a spinoff. But John Wick, like the John Wick, there's been talks of what they're going to do with a future sequel. If you recall the ending for part 4, it seemed pretty final, right? Obviously there was a little wiggle room, and if you haven't seen part 4 yet, I mean, come on now, hurry up. But the finale for John Wick 4 seemed kind of like to end the whole thing right there. But there's of course talks of doing a John Wick 5. Now, I don't know if it was officially announced. I'm pretty sure it was, because I think it was like one of the execs for Lionsgate or whatever actually said a John Wick 5 was in the works. So now we have Chad Stahelski, who is Stahelski. He is the director and he's also the executive producer of the John Wick movies. So he was interviewed about what's going on with John Wick 5, where you guys at with it, and he did give an update on that. He says, I'm not going to lie to you. We've got a pretty good story that I think is cool. Once we have a 50-page book, and if we're feeling it, we'll sit with Keanu and shape this thing. Look, everybody seems to want it. It's a matter of whether we crack it. We're actively working on it. So it says here, so it's not certain John Wick will happen 5. Says here, he says the studio would very much will it into existence, I'm sure, at some point. Look, they've been great and they've asked us to really try, and we have really good couple of ideas and we're going to try. What we know is that it's not a prequel, and Stahelski already ruled that out. He said Keanu and I are not interested in going backwards. Oh gosh. Okay. I don't like this. I don't like this. And he just confirmed pretty much a lot of the stuff that I think gets wrong in Hollywood. Obviously, the studio is going to want you to do this. Obviously, they want more money. What I don't like is directors or writers being forced to make sequels to movies that they don't have plans to do. If they don't have an idea for a franchise, if they don't have an idea for a sequel, I don't like the idea of forcing them into this just for the sake of money. It's going to feel like a cash grab. Second, why are y'all announcing that John Wick 5 is going to happen when you don't have a complete script yet? What are you doing? Have you not learned from Blade? What are you doing? Like, if you don't have a script that is ready to go, you got a good idea, you're like, yeah, man, John Wick finna do this, he gonna do that, blah, blah, blah. Why are you even announcing this or talking about it? Nah, we don't know. Maybe we'll think about a sequel, but for right now, nothing. Just be quiet. It's okay. You don't have to overpromise something that you don't even have yet. what they used to call that, cashing the checks. You cashing checks that you can't cash a check or whatever, however the saying goes. Like, what are you talking about? You ain't got enough in the bank. You don't even have a full script. You don't even got a quarter script. Anyway, Keanu's getting old. A man's in his 60s. What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? Like, he doesn't have to do a John Wick 5. I think what Ballerina just did was prove that you can make a franchise, you can split it off, and it'll probably be fine. You know, it'll probably be fine. I mean, the Donnie Yen movie is still coming out. I'm down if they want to do a Ballerina Part 2. And if you want Keanu to just kind of show up and just do a little cameo, that's fine too. I'm just saying, I don't think John Wick's story really needs to continue, right? He's avenged his wife. He's avenged, the puppy. He's gone. He's broken free from, the table, the high table and stuff. Like, what else do you need this man to do? What else is there? I'm looking at this, like, especially with Ballerina, I'm like, yo, y'all got a world of a lot of other interesting assassins. You mean to tell me you can't just come up with somebody else that has like a legendary, track record, or a new legend in the making? Like, that would be kind of cool too. Like, why don't you show us the new John Wick? Not like John Wick himself, but somebody who starts a new legacy and we get to actually be along for it down the road. Like, why don't you do that? Anyway, y'all let me know, how do you feel about this? They don't have a script together. They don't know where they're going with this yet, but they're trying. They feel like they got somebody. Maybe they're kicking the can, right? Y'all let me know how you feel about it in the comments down below. Dreezy, what you got? I would like to have an entire Mortal Kombat movie about the backstory of Scorpion and Sub-Zero. You know what? Actually, what you want to do, if you haven't already, is check out Mortal Kombat Legends, Scorpion's Revenge. I even did a review on this a while back, so you can find it on my channel, but this was solid. This was solid. Matter of fact, I was like, if the movies just copy these cartoons, they'll be fine. They will be fine. This was solid. I know they did a follow-up with Liu Kang. That was also decent. They did another one with Johnny Cage. Not as good, but still good. Like, the animated movies are not bad. They are not. They are a good watch, especially if you're a fan of Mortal Kombat. So if that's what you want, if that's what you're looking for, I know they might not do the live action. I don't know why, but they nail it with the animation. So if you haven't seen that yet, do yourself a favor and treat yourself. That right there is worth watching. All right. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate your support. Okay, so we did John Wick. Let's talk about this new biopic. Y'all know everybody love a good old biopic, right? So we know we got the Michael Jackson biopic coming, and apparently it looks like we gonna keep going with the music stuff because y'all unk. I'm not he's no longer. I can't do it. I can't do it. But y'all unk is about to get a biopic of his own, and that is none other than Snoop OG. It says here that Jonathan Davis is set to star as the hip-hop artist Snoop Dogg in the definitive biopic from Universal Pictures. And yes, this will be produced by Mr. Snoop Dogg himself. So it says here the film is going to look at how he entered into the West Coast hip-hop fray, and how he took on the moniker of Snoop Doggy Dogg, and basically, signs with Death Row Records, makes all the collaborations with Dr. Dre, etc. And this is actually not the first time Universal has done this. Universal is also responsible for other musical biopics like 8 Mile or Straight Outta Compton. Now, I was a little skeptical about this for a couple reasons, but I like 8 Mile and I liked Straight Outta Compton. Straight Outta Compton has a special place in my heart because it was one of the first movies I ever went to a screening for as a movie critic. I also got in trouble because I broke the embargo because I didn't know what an embargo was. So I really enjoyed, that was definitely an interesting time. But I enjoyed that. So I don't know. I think my only hesitation is I don't know how I feel about biopics for people that are still actively here because one, there's a possibility of a whole lot of bias, right? There's also the possibility of like you might not get the full truth about stuff because why would you tell the whole truth if you were like, nah, this is my life the way I want it to look, you know? And I don't like it just feels unright. Like I'm okay with biopics after people pass away, hopefully that are still made by people that were close to the individual. But at the same time, I don't want my biopics to be afraid to talk about or to show information we didn't know or things that might be a little controversial, right? So anyway, I'm sitting here thinking like I don't know about this. It's a little skeptical. I hope my man can rap pretty well. Because here's the thing, Snoop is such a popularized character at this point. Like he is a character at this point, right? It's not just like, oh, he's a rapper. No, like people know Snoop Dogg at this point. They might not even know his raps. They don't even know his songs, but they know Snoop Dogg. So because of him, it's like, man, you gonna have to act your butt off for this, Jonathan Davis. Like I hope you get your, just get the vocals right, get the song right. Like you have to sound like him. You have to, because everybody knows how Snoop sounds. So good luck to this brother. But yeah, I'm still kind of skeptical on the whole idea of a biopic this early. Um, I wouldn't mind if they didn't make it a direct, type of biopic, kind of like the whole 8 Mile thing. Like it was kind of Eminem's story, but it was, about B Rabbit or whatever. Like if they kind of do a little creative stuff in there, I'm okay with that. I'm cool if they want to do that. But we'll see, because I know people are going to be watching. Anytime you are going to take on the portrayal of a character or of a person that is so well known that everybody knows, the challenge is huge. It was huge for Austin Butler with Elvis. It's going to be huge for Jafar Jackson, who's going to play his late uncle, Michael Jackson. Good luck. Good luck. So I'll wait for a trailer first. I'll wait for a trailer and see how it is. But y'all let me know. Are y'all looking forward to that? Is that something that you're going to watch? Whatever you think, feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right. There were a lot going on. Where is it? There we go. We had a lot of rumors going on in the last week or two, so I figured we could go through a couple of them, talk about them, dismiss them, whatever. But we got a couple Marvel rumors. We got a couple other rumors. Let's kind of go through a couple of these and just give some thoughts. So this one comes from Daniel RPK, usually pretty reliable. Says here that Marvel Studios reportedly plans to shift their focus for shows and movies. So now the shows will focus more on grounded level characters like the Defenders for Disney Plus, and movies are going to be reserved for major events. Okay. Like I'm okay with that. And I feel like that's what y'all always should have been doing in the first place, right? Like you can take those, I mean, if anything, I don't know. Let's say a movie don't nobody really want to watch again, like Eternals. Um, you can take that big event of a celestial coming out the water and then just have like little TV shows like Daredevil or Jessica Jones or somebody talk about it, right? Like that's okay. I This seems like common sense because what else are you going to use the TV shows for? They should be for like the ground level world building and character development at the end of the day. So that makes sense. I think that's better. And I think this makes more sense for their new approach, which is to do less with more. So they're not going to chuck out movie after movie after movie. They're going to give us less movies per year and less content and then kind of let things breathe a little bit. So I like that approach. We shift over. It's still RPK here for Star Wars. Surprise, surprise. The Star Wars movie that was centered on Rey is now on hold. Oh my gosh. I did not see this coming. I am a liar because I did. Sean Levy's Starfighter and James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi, those will be moving forward first. I don't care. I don't care. Like this, here we go again. At this point, I just wonder when will they simply just cancel all these movies? Because we know we still going on what, 5, 6 years, 7 years since the last Star Wars? It's been all talk. All talk. Ma'am, sir, show me a trailer. Show me some tickets going on sale. Because I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Talking about this one's going to be reportedly on hold. They all finna be on hold. Every single one of them going to be on hold. Please. What else we got? This is more Disney, I think. But the Russos, we got a live action Hercules remake that is going to be in development. The Russos, they want to retitle the movie to Hades and focus on the villain. But Disney wants a more faithful remake on Hercules. Interesting. Now Hercules has always been like one of those fan favorite type of movies, I want to say. I didn't really grow up watching Hercules. I watched it when I was a little bit older as a kid, so it didn't like stick with me the way that it did with others. I liked it. It was fine. And I'm a sucker for Greek mythology either way. But this sounds like what the Russos like to do. They like to take the perspective of the villain and humanize them in some way, shape, or form. So I could see how they and why they would want to do that. That's basically what they did with Thanos, right? They made Thanos the hero of his own movie, even though he really was a villain. So I could see them trying to do that with Hades. But I don't know. I don't know if that's really going to work. I kind of feel as though if you're doing a live action, first of all, I don't think Hades is going to actually sell versus Hercules, which is just a much more recognizable name brand. Now they could make the Hercules movie and just add a different component to Hades. You could do that, but I don't know. Y'all let me know. Is this something that you're kind of interested in? Do you think that they should make a Hades movie versus a Hercules? Feel free to let me know what you think on that one. Actually, let's stick to Hercules, because we got more rumors with him. Apparently, Marvel Studios is developing our Hercules solo project starring Brett Goldstein. Now, here's the thing. No thanks. No thanks. I don't know what this solo project is, and I don't care. First of all, you showed us Hercules at the end of a terrible Thor movie. First of all. Second of all, I need Marvel, if this is true, because keep in mind, this is still a rumor. I need Marvel to stop thinking that they are back in 2008, 2010. You need to stop playing around with these small characters. Hercules is not a big name brand at all. Now, what you can do, you can throw Hercules into different things and help it develop, help the character gain some traction. You can throw Hercules into Avengers Doomsday. You can throw him into Secret Wars. You can do something where the character develops a little bit more and gets more fan exposure. And here's the key. You could find out if we all give a damn or not, because we might not. We might not care about that version of Hercules, because for all we know, you make that Hercules super goofy and don't nobody want to see him. Or maybe you make him, really cool, kind of like similar to the comics, and then maybe we do want to see him. I'm just saying, I don't think it's worth the time and the effort to do a solo movie, to do a Disney Plus series, or to even do one of those, one-off 1 hour specials. For what? For what? What is Hercules finna do that's going to be justifying that? That's worthy of it. I don't care about this character. There hasn't been enough to make us care. And I'm just saying, given that terrible phase 4 y'all came off of and that mediocre phase 5, you don't need to keep taking these risks. Y'all got all the character rights back. Just focus on hitting home runs. You don't need to keep swinging at everything. Just focus on the home runs right now, okay? Because y'all can't keep affording to violate people's trust. Okay, you already showed us Eternals. Okay, you almost messed up giving us an Eternals 2. You almost did, but you say, you know what? We learned our lesson. We're not gonna go there, and that's okay. That's smart. That's the way you should do it. Don't make another Eternals 2. But with Hercules, listen, just let him interact with Thor in another movie or in another series. Just do that and test the waters first. That's all. That's all. Anyway. Speaking of Thor 5 is reportedly in the works at Marvel. Again, these are all rumors. But thankfully, Taika Waititi will not return to direct. So that is fantastic news. I have been saying multiple times, Thor is the epitome of a certain level of privilege that other characters just are not afforded. Thor gets to fail up constantly. That first movie, some of y'all like it. I did not. The second movie, nobody really liked it. Third movie, I think everyone could agree it's top 5, top 6 Marvel with Thor Ragnarok. Excellent film. Thor 4, terrible movie. I don't see how Thor warrants a 5th movie. Iron Man didn't even get a 4th and a 5th solo movie. Captain America didn't even get a 4th or 5th single movie. Thor is great if you want to add him into an ensemble. Yes, I like the character of Thor, but the movies outside of Ragnarok are not very good. But hey, we were talking about Hercules. Maybe they throw him in there in the Thor 5. I guess. And I mean, it's still going to be a question of who are you going to get to direct Thor 5? And what are you going to do? What is the story for Thor 5? I don't really care about what Thor does now that he's like a stepdaddy. Like he's a galactic stepdaddy or something like that. Like, what are we doing? I don't know. Anyway, y'all excited for the potential of a Thor 5? Let me know. We also have another rumor, and we already talked about how Amazon had purchased the rights for James Bond, and of course, they're looking to find their next James Bond. They're looking to find a director, etc. Well, look at this person right now, because I know everybody was talking about, oh, Idris Elba. Well, he's too old, right? They want someone in their 30s. Some people were talking about Ray J. Jean Page. Well, the Bridgerton black dude. His name's been up there. A lot of Aaron Taylor Johnson was supposedly in the lead for that, but with Amazon basically buying the rights, that probably is dead. So now I have said Tom Hiddleston, Loki. I have said if you watched Kong Skull Island, that was his audition. If you watch King Kong Skull Island, that is his audition to play James Bond, to me. But we got a rumor here on who might be considered. I don't know if anybody thought about this one, but it is none other than Aaron Pierre himself, because he is reportedly being considered as the next James Bond. So listen, you got a UK guy, right? UK, and so he's British, I think. And action is not something he can do it. He was fantastic in Rebel Ridge. He did a great job in Rebel Ridge. So, and he's young, right? He's got the muscles, right? My man is swole. He's got the ladies, with he got them fawning over him. So this would not be my first pick. It wouldn't be my first pick, but if he gets the role, would I be mad? I mean, I'll watch. I'll watch. And listen, I also was not sold on Daniel Craig when he first got the role until I saw Casino Royale, and I was like, okay, brother, you got it. You did it. So my only question is, I'm not going to personally be bothered by this if he gets selected. My question is Amazon ready for that backlash? Because there's going to be some backlash. Matter of fact, let's just see. I don't know. I haven't even looked. I'm just going to take a guess. Let's see. Let's see if there's any backlash in the comments. Let's see. Creating. Oh, we got a first no. Okay. So neither. People do want Henry Cavill. People still want Idris. Okay. Tom Holland. No, you spelled Hiddleston wrong. There it is. Bond is a white British male. Okay. There. Yeah. I mean, listen. You can still. There. Wait. There it is. There it is. James Bond is white. He's white. Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh, wow. Oh, that's a little racist. I'm pretty sure James Bond can swim. Haha. Okay. There we go. Anyway, I have not been in favor of Henry Cavill as James Bond. I know he tried to audition to play it, but what unsold me was Man from U.N.C.L.E. So if you watch Man from U.N.C.L.E. with Henry Cavill and Armie Hammer, Henry does kind of sort of play a spy. It's just that, and let me give you the pre-pause now. He was too big. This dude was like in a suit, jacked up because he's straight from Superman. It's too big. This dude was out. I'm like, Superman, what are you doing? Superman, why do you have that little pistol in your hand? Like it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense seeing somebody with all those muscles in that suit talking about, they're like a little spot. It just did not add up. It did not add up. Now, maybe earlier Henry Cavill, before he got super jacked, maybe that would have worked, but I don't know. It was no longer believable to me seeing Henry Cavill like that. It just didn't work. It didn't work. Now I get it. I feel like everybody thinks of Henry Cavill like from here up, and it makes sense. But when you see everything else and the way he moves, and I'm like, nothing about that looks like a James Bond to me. Anyway, let's see. Are there any others? We got a couple more. Another rumor here. Apparently, this is for Vision Quest. The series about Vision. Multiple endings are being tested for Vision Quest, with options including a finale returning featuring the ghost of Agatha and Billy, and another highlighting Wanda's return. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Like Vision Quest, I guess that would make sense. I feel like you need Wanda in some case. I think I made a theory video a while back, if I'm not mistaken, about like what happened to Wanda at the end of Doctor Strange 2, because I don't think she died. I don't believe she died at all. But I gotta see if I find that theory video. But the whole Agatha thing, I've watched Agatha, to be honest. It just was not for me. I didn't really like the whole ending with her. I didn't care for it. It just, I don't know. Like it was not, I didn't like it. But Scarlet Witch coming back, I mean, I think that's a definite. I'm curious if they're gonna have her interacting with Wonder Man. I wonder if they're gonna go that far with it. For the comic fans, y'all should know. But we'll have to wait and see what they do with that. Last but not least, we have one more rumor here, and this is about oh, oh. Marvel Studios reportedly had plans to introduce Lin Lee as the main Iron Fist in the MCU. And in case you did not know, he is an Asian Iron Fist. So I know one of the reports was that in Eyes of Wakanda, we were going to see another Iron Fist. So that was going to be, from a different world, a different time. That makes sense. Then you also have the idea that, well, if we're going to do Doomsday, if we're going to do a multiverse, it makes sense that you would see different versions of Iron Fist running around. But according to this rumor, this Lin guy was going to be the main one. So it looks like they might actually give up on Danny, huh? No Danny Rand, huh? Okay, I can't resist. Y'all know what we have to do. Let's see what he's up to. Let's see, because I think if I heard a rumor, even the slightest rumor, of somebody potentially taking a role that I really have been campaigning for, I feel like I'd be doing something about it. Just anything about it, right? Just, hey guys, look at this. Right? I know I couldn't help it. I'm sorry. Let's see what's he up to. Still, oh man, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to disrupt this man's nap. My bad, G. My bad. Still sleep. What is this? Day 482? Finn Jones still sleep? Okay. Not even an update. Not even he's still on the stairs. He's still on the stairs, and he's still hanging out with other people that been training. And look at this. He hit you with the Spice Adams with the look behind on the tree. It's just, does he want this? Does he want this, or is he asleep behind the wheel? Does he want this? Imagine staying asleep and passing on the role that you claim that you wanted for years. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. And maybe that's right. Maybe it's only in his dreams. Maybe it's only in his dreams that he will be Iron Fist, and he realized that. I don't know. Anyway, guys, y'all let me know, what do you think about all these rumors? Which ones do you think are true, that will pan out? Whatever you think, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right. Oh, I didn't say this. I didn't say it. I didn't say it. I did not say it. Don't put that on me. I did not say it. Oh, I cackled inside. Oh, Jarrell, thank you so much. Hey, rewind this live if you're coming late. I already talked about my Andor reaction. So if you missed it, rewind and you'll get to it. Thank you so much. Let's see. JN from Mufasa to James Bond. God bless, bro. Sure. Hey, listen, if he gets it, okay. Okay. I mean, I'm still here for Idris Elba. I've already said that they could always just do an anthology of just like, here's a James Bond, and here's a James Bond, and here's a James Bond. I think that would work too, but we'll see. Let's see. Quiet one, I'm gonna get to here. Skyfall is the best Bond movie, in my opinion. Thoughts? My thought is that Skyfall is not the best James Bond movie. If you're talking about Daniel Craig, I think Casino Royale might be the best one so far. Yeah, I enjoyed Casino Royale more. If you're talking about overall, I don't know how to really quantify that. I know one thing, Quantum of Solace is probably the worst one in the Daniel Craig ones. I did not like Quantum of Solace like that. Like Skyfall is fine. I like Casino Royale more. That's all. All right. And quiet one, what you got? Thank you so much for this, man. Since we are losing our legends daily, would you be against biopics for guys like Stevie Wonder, Smokey Robinson, Morgan Freeman, like a Pursuit of Happiness story of their struggle to success so they can get their flowers now? So I'm not opposed to, so like the Pursuit of Happiness, right? By the way, love that movie. I think Will Smith was robbed for not getting an Oscar for that film. Robbed. I don't have a problem if just like with NWA, with Straight Outta Compton. If you're going to use that movie to tell only a certain part of their life, I think that's perfectly fine. Right? I'm just talking about if this movie is supposed to be about the totality of your life or whatever. I'm like, at that point, I think that the person should not be around so we can get everything. But if you're talking about, let's say, Stevie Wonder, and we get to the time, where he meets Quincy Jones, and I don't know if y'all ever saw that, the We Are the World documentary, or that little story. It was on Netflix. Stevie Wonder is hilarious. Like Stevie, I don't think Stevie tries to be, but Stevie, when Lionel Richie was talking about Stevie Wonder with the whole We Are the World situation, too funny. If you show me stuff like that, like it's not all about his whole life, but maybe up to a certain point, I think that is probably where I'm more comfortable with it, right? Because like even with NWA, like yeah, they showed it, but they didn't go off and be like, okay, well now Dr. Dre is doing this, and now Ice Cube is doing that. Like they stopped after the group, and that was it. So I would like segments. I think that would be cool. So even with like Snoop or whatever, like do that. Or with Smokey, talk about how he played into Motown, like how he added and helped elevate that. Like I think that would be amazing to see. um let's see. Quiet one once again. Thor's character is at his best in the MCU when he suffers loss, because it makes us care and be invested in his character arc. Makes a god feel human. Yes and no. I mean, because he suffered loss in Thor 2, but it didn't make him any better. It didn't make the movie any better. Um, I agree that making him more relatable to humans is a solid thing. And that's one of the things I kind of liked in the first movie. And I've kind of liked with Thor's story in general, which is he's supposed to be arrogant. He's supposed to be brash. He's supposed to be full of himself, which I think that component, the humbling, we like that. We like it with Tony Stark. We like it with Doctor Strange. Like we like to see those arrogant a-holes get knocked off their pedestal and then have a certain change or have a humbling, change in their demeanor or character. I think that is what we like. And maybe you can get that through suffering, but I don't think for Thor it's exclusively through suffering. I think it's more so of he needs to find we need to see like growth in his character one way or another. Maybe it comes through suffering, maybe it comes through other types of loss. And here's one other thing. I didn't connect with him that much in Thor Love and Thunder when he lost Jane. Like that did not help, right? Like I one of my criticisms was how the movie kind of treated the whole cancer thing as like just another part of the jokes, and it didn't work. It just did not work. Now, when you talk about suffering and loss, look at Loki. Loki, now he did go through a TV series, but he went through a whole arc throughout the whole MCU, if you think about it, of wanting attention, wanting to be loved, wanting to be accepted. And he went so far to attack New York because he wanted attention. He went so far as like always messing around with Thor because he wanted attention. He wanted to be loved. He went through his whole series, trying to bond even with himself as a variant, because he just has this need to be loved because he was abandoned as a kid. And when you talk about loss and suffering, I mean, his final sacrifice to literally just be destined to be alone, I mean, that's suffering, right? But we connected with him because we've seen his journey of being arrogant, rude, all of that. And he changed his character so deeply that now we're like, man, he might be a trickster, but I can mess with that Loki guy. Like that's a dope character. So anyway, it's not so much suffering. It's about what do you do with that suffering and how does it affect the character? I think that is where we bond at the end of the day. But thank you for that comment. Very, very good. Larry, what you got? Yo, E-Man, I got to meet the Bond villain from Quantum of Solace, and he was super nice. I have to admit, I rewatched it after and liked it much more. He's also in the Phoenician Scheme, which was great, by the way. Interesting. I will not watch those movies. I think that's Wes Anderson. It's just not for me. It's not for me. I feel like I don't know if this is even going to be controversial to say or not. But it's kind of like how Spike makes movies for black folks. I feel like Wes Anderson makes movies for like white audiences. And I'm not trying to say that in a bad way. I'm just saying that like it's a whole different avenue that never has seemed to attract me to watch. Like when he makes his movies, it's like Wes Anderson Woody Allen. Nothing about their movies appeal to me. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm not saying it's wrong, because if Jordan Peele and Spike Lee can make movies the way they want, those guys are free to make movies the way they want. But I'm just saying, I've never looked at a Wes Anderson movie and be like, oh man, let me go and check this out. Now, are you talking about Benicio del Toro? If you're talking about him, I haven't met him, but I absolutely agree that he seems like that kind of guy that's really nice. So that's really cool that you got a chance to meet him. But yeah, I there's nothing about that. Like, he has got such a specific lane with his movies. It's just no, thank you, no, thank you. All right, let's move on. Oh man. Guys, let's talk about Will Smith real quick. No, we're not going. It's not another Jada situation. It's not no Chris Rock thing or whatever. Recently, Will Smith was on an interview and he decided to open up. He decided to open up again, and this time he had talked about some of his movie choices. Right. In case you did not know, despite the fact that Will Smith is probably one of our current movie stars, right? This man has finally admitted that he has passed up on another movie. If you did not know, he had passed up on The Matrix when it was offered to him, and he passed up. He passed The Matrix to go do Wild Wild West, and he also passed up on Django for other reasons. We'll get into those reasons. But now, let's add one more movie that Will Smith has passed up on. It says here that he also turned down Inception. That's right. With Leonardo DiCaprio, this man passed up on Inception. Here's what he had to say. I don't think I've ever said it publicly, but I'm going to say it because we are opening up to one another. Chris Nolan brought me Inception first, and I didn't get it. I never said that out loud. Now that I think about it, it's those movies that go into those alternate realities. They don't pitch well, but I am truly hurt by those two. At this point, I want Will to stop confessing stuff. I like Will Smith. I admire Will Smith. I respect Will Smith. I want him to stop making these confessions, because every time he reveals another fantastic role that he probably would have been great in, it makes me question his decision making even more. And it's like, where are your people? Where were your friends? Who was your agent at the time? And I hope that agent is still not there. Like, because it's one thing, and don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are plenty of stories of actors who get offered a role, they pass it for whatever reason, maybe scheduling, maybe they didn't like it, whatever, and somebody else gets it and someone else gets famous. This is not uncommon. It happens. But the difference is you don't hear about it a lot, right? I'm pretty sure Leonardo DiCaprio has been offered a whole lot of different movie roles that he's passed on and other people got popular with. But you know what? Leo, and here's the difference, he'll pick something that won't hurt him. You know what? Let me see. Because now I'm curious. What did he pass on? When did Django come out? That was 2012. Okay. 2012. Will, what did you pass this up for? What did you go do instead of Django? And I'm hoping that it's something worth it. I'm looking at the movies right now. So first of all, you passed on the Matrix to do Wild Wild West. We know that was a bad decision. Hey, mistakes happen. Inception, 2012. What was you doing? 7 pounds? Didn't nobody care about that. You did Men in Black 3. And then you followed that up with After Earth. Oh. Well. Nah, I mean, I kind of sort of understand. I mean, Men in Black was a big franchise for him. I kind of understand that, but oh. You said no to Christopher Nolan? Just okay, and Inception was 2010. I'm sorry, you said no to Django in 2012. 2010. What was you doing? Hold on. Nothing? You didn't do nothing? He ain't do nothing from 2008 to 2012? Inception was right there. You had nothing else? Ooh, lordy. All right, so this hurts me because again, I'm a fan of Will Smith and I want Will Smith to succeed. I'm just hurt with his decision-making process. I don't know how it works. I don't know how he says, "Okay, I don't get this, but let me go do this trash. I'm gonna go do that trash." Like how so let me read actually more of his. And here's the thing: it's not like he's done all trash. He has done good work. After I like Focus, I thought Focus was a good movie. And I like King Richard. Like he's not terrible. It's just these pivots. These pivots are hard, man. These pivots are painful. To go from this potential winner to this potential loser, that's what hurts. If you sat here and told me, "Oh, you know what? I turned down the Matrix, but I went and did Bad Boys." Okay. Might not have been the best, but it was. I can understand, right? I can understand. But it's just, man, I went from this mega hit to this mega flop. That's what hurts. Oh. So anyway, let's hear his reasons. He says, okay, no, you got that part. The main reason why he turned down the Matrix was because he didn't connect with the Wachowski siblings with their pitch, which he said was more about their intended directing style and not about the actual story. And when he retold this story, he said that this is what the Wachowski sounded like. We're thinking like, imagine you're in a fight, you like jump. Imagine if you could stop jumping in the middle of the jump and then people could see around you 360 while you stop jumping. We're going to invent these cameras and then people can see the whole jump when you stop in the middle of the jump. Now, I understand how that pitch might not sound that great, but first of all, I would have been intrigued with the idea of what you're going to invent cameras. Like that right there would have already gotten my attention of you're going to do or try something new. And here's the other thing. I understand if they might not have pitched the story, but you can read. You can read the script, right? Like read the script. I'm sure you could read the script and then you can get an idea for the story too. Now, here's what he had to say about Django. He said, "I didn't want to make a slavery film about vengeance when Tarantino brought it to him." He said, "To me, it's as perfect as a story as you could ever want. A guy that learns how to kill to retrieve his wife. that has been taken as a slave. That idea is perfect. And it was just that Quentin and I couldn't see eye to eye. I wanted to make that movie so badly, but I felt the only way was it had to be a love story and not a vengeance story. No, 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 no. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not looking for, if I'm even going to watch a slave movie, if I'm even going to watch that, I'm not looking for a love story. I'm sorry. I'm not looking for, oh, let me feel nice and warm inside. They found their love as they're still slaves, or now they get to head into Jim Crow and segregation. I don't want to see that. But what I will see is a fictional story of a former slave getting all the dreamed up, wanted revenge that we would have hoped to see. That's what I want to see in a movie. That's fantasies played out. Who wouldn't want to? First of all, forget black and white. Who wouldn't want to see a slave, someone oppressed, fighting back against their oppressors? Who wouldn't want to see that on anything? Don't nobody want to sit here and talk about like, oh, well, you know, when them Greeks and Romans, when they was in chains, man, we got to do a love story. No, you want to see them go fight. You want to see the person that was beaten down, held down. You want to see them go fight. If they get some love in there, that's fine. But you're going there for the revenge. Vengeance and revenge, they sell just fine. The fact that Will Smith thought that a slavery movie needed to be a love story, sir, where are your friends? Where is your agent? Where are the people that are supposed to protect you and help you make even more millions of dollars? Because somebody has failed you. Hopefully, he has fired these people and moved on. Because, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Anyway, guys, y'all let me know, what do you think about Will's confession about skipping out on Inception? He did not understand the alternate reality stuff. It's like, man, you didn't learn from the Matrix? Like, it was right there. It was right there. I'm saying, if you passed on the Matrix and you regretted it then, it was right there. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments. Quiet one. Will Smith is living proof that you can that you can be likable and successful, but not too bright. I wanted him to learn from his mistakes. I'm saying, I'm just like, listen, if I missed out on if I did Wild Wild West instead of the Matrix, and I know that movie flopped, I know Matrix became big. You don't think it's time to learn your lesson at that point? Hey, next sci-fi. Who want me in the next sci-fi? I didn't get it the first time. You're not gonna mess me up twice. And I'm sorry. You can't sit here and pass on the Matrix and then say, let me go do Gemini Man. Just he needs help. He needs help. ILL, what you got? One day we're gonna find out he was offered to play Blade and was offered a role with Tom Cruise in a Mission Impossible Fallout as Henry Cavill's character. See, this is what I'm saying. And here's the thing: you could be right. You could be right. Now, granted, I don't want Will Smith as Blade, but you could be right that he's going to be offered certain movies or whatever and turn them down. This is why I'm saying he can't tell us no more. Don't reveal no more stuff. We don't need to question your decision making any further. Please don't. So even though that, you know what, I wouldn't be surprised if he was supposed to be in Collateral instead of Jamie Foxx with Tom Cruise. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. That he might have signed up for that. Anyway, let's talk about Captain America real quick. So we know that we got some Marvel movies coming up. Nothing too big, just Doomsday and Secret Wars. And of course, a popular question a lot of people are asking is like, yo, who's all coming back? What's going down? Now, I've already talked about how I don't believe that Chris Evans should come back. I don't think he should, just because you already have Sam Wilson there. You got to let Sam have his time as Captain America, so that way you don't undermine him and undermine his presence. However, that did not stop people from still asking what's going on with Chris Evans. It was at this I believe it was for another movie he was doing, and they had to ask him the question. And they said here, has anyone talked to you? Or have you talked to any of the others? Robert Downey, the Russos, because all these people are coming back. And Chris Evans, and let me give a little credit here. They did say here, I know you're not going to confirm or deny anything. So they did preface that. I like the fact that they said that. But they do go on and he responds with, yeah, I talk to them all the time. It's where Pedro is right now. I mean, it's sad to be away. It's sad not to be back with the band, but I'm sure they're doing something incredible. And I'm sure it's going to be that much harder when it comes out and you feel like you weren't invited to the party. All right. So here's the thing. I didn't bring up this topic because I cared about his answer. To the contrary, I absolutely do not care what Chris Evans has to say about Captain America and Doomsday and Secret Wars. I'm more than willing to bet that he will show up, right? But I wanted to bring this up so that we can really get to the point and just put this message out there. Stop asking these actors if they're going to be in these movies. Just stop. It's a waste of time. That's why I appreciated the fact that the interviewer even said, I know you're not going to confirm or deny anything. You should have stopped right there. Just stop right there. Can't deny, and that's fine. They just asked, hey, do you talk to them? But I want this to be hopefully like a launching pad to kind of be like, yo, if y'all see Chris Evans in the street, don't ask him about Avengers. Just stop. If he shows up, that's great. If he doesn't, oh well. It's okay. It's the same way we don't need to talk to Andrew Garfield no more about anything Spider-Man. If he becomes Spider-Man again, great. If not, oh well. They're not going to tell you the truth. Or if they tell you something, you can't believe it 100% anyway. And they can't confirm or deny stuff, especially with the whole contract. So stop talking to them about these things. And by the way, is it okay if we just get surprised? Like, is it okay if we just go into the movies and allow them to either pop up or not or whatever and just let it happen? I'm just asking this to my fellow press people out there. I know the temptation is huge. I get it. It's just not worth it. It's not interesting. We've been down this road with so many actors before. Can we just stop? Don't ask nobody no more. Are you going to be in this movie? Just leave it. Just leave it. Anyway, I just wanted to leave that and put that out there real quick. Y'all let me know. Do y'all even care if Chris Evans comes back as Captain America? I mean, I still think it's a possibility just because the Russo brothers, they like that kind of stuff. But y'all let me know what you think in the comments down below. Nelson, there you go. I want to be surprised and spoil the movie. Yes, same. Like I really think that is something that we all miss, and we need more of that. We need more surprises from our movies. Baker, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that support. Thank you so much. Okay, what else do I have? I think we have let's do an X-Men update. So yeah, let's talk about the X-Men. So we know that there is going to be a live action X-Men movie. Recently there was it was reported that I think it was Disney had reported that Marvel is going to have a movie coming out in 2028. So a lot of people are suspecting maybe it's Blade. I doubt it. But I'm thinking 2028, that's right after Secret Wars. That sounds like an X-Men movie to me. So it's possible that we could be getting this live action X-Men movie at that time. And we talked about this as a rumor before, but now it seems like it is actually realistic, and it's confirmed, I want to say, that we found our new director for the X-Men movie. And it says here, sources stress that Jake Schreier is being eyed to direct Marvel's next X-Men movie. It says sources stress the deal is in early talks and has not been finalized, but Schreier catapulted to the top of Disney and Marvel's wish list after Thunderbolts became one of the MCU's best reviewed movies in years. And we also know that Michael Leslie, who recent credits include The Hunger Games, he's going to be writing this story. You know, let me just kind of talk about if Jake Schreier actually gets this, because I do have a couple concerns. Now, recently I went to see, I saw Bo DeMayo talking about this, and I thought Bo DeMayo raised an interesting point. And that point was about how it's funny how, and I'm paraphrasing, it's funny how, yes, Thunderbolts did get a lot of good reviews. However, it also did not do very well in the box office. What do you do with that? Most people would say, hey, if you make a movie and it does not bring a big financial return, you're not coming back. It's just not good business sense. Like, we need to move on. However, I understand, and I'm just going to speculate some of the reasons why Marvel might be like, no, we like Jake Schreier. So I had told you guys this before. Jake Schreier directed Beef on Netflix, and Beef, I thought, did a very good job with character interactions, right? Just making sure that these characters who might have different personalities, clashing personalities, those interactions, I thought he handled very well as a director. I think he did a good job with that in Thunderbolts. So if you're going to have a X-Men movie, and if Cyclops, Professor X, and Jean are supposedly going to be the main characters or whatever, I could see how they want those character interactions to work out. And Jake Schreier would probably be a good fit for that. However, my issue is I kind of sort of agree with Bo DeMayo in terms of, how are you about to have a movie that didn't financially work, but yet you're allowed to have an even bigger opportunity with the X-Men? You're basically getting a promotion. Going from Thunderbolts to the X-Men, that is a promotion. It kind of reeks of failing upwards, right? You are given that benefit of the doubt. The problem that I have, or the concern that I have, and it's the same issue that I had with X-Men 97, firing Bo DeMayo after he gave us that fantastic and probably the best iteration of the X-Men that we've seen in years. I'm concerned that the X-Men live action movie is going to be watered down and not as good compared to what we got in X-Men 97. And what do I mean by that? I'm not saying that it's not going to be as flashy or whatever. What I'm saying is I feel like it's going to be safer. I feel like it's going to be, for the sake of the word, whitewashed. I don't think that we're going to get the core perspective of an oppressed group that we should get, or that we got from X-Men 97. I don't think we're going to get that along with the critiques that we got from X-Men 97. I don't think we're going to get that now in this live action X-Men movie. Now, will X-Men be oppressed? Sure. People won't like them, but I think that's as far as it will go. Will they have some arguments here and there? Sure. I'm sure they'll do that. I don't think that Jake is going to be a bad director, but I do think he's a company guy. I do think that Marvel likes directors that, and let's just not even sugarcoat it, people that they can just control and have their way with. In other words, they will have an easier collaboration with. Let me put it that way. It's a little softer that way. Marvel can collaborate a little easier because we've heard plenty of stories, plenty from directors, past, present, or whatever, who have said that, like, yeah, I will go ahead and direct this movie, but then when I'm gone, Marvel goes in post-production and they change a whole bunch of stuff up. So they need people that works collaboratively with them that will allow the movies to be whatever they want them to be. So I understand why Marvel would pick Jake Schreier for this. Would he have been my first pick? Probably not. But do I think that the X-Men movie is going to be bad? No, I think it will be acceptable. I think whatever they give us is going to be fine. I just don't think it will reach its true potential the way X-Men 97 showed us how deep the potential of X-Men really can be. So we'll see what happens, but you guys let me know, how do you feel about Jake Schreier being in the early talks, being the potential head, winner here for the director job for X-Men? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right. Let's see. Nelson, what you got? I'd like to see Chris Evans as an evil variant. That's possible. There have been rumors that we might get the Hail Hydra Steve Rogers. Sure. I could totally see that. That could even be somebody that Dr. Doom has under his control, and he sicks him on the other team. Why not? That's possible. Natalie, what you got? Mackie and cheese. Sorry, mac and cheese is in the oven. Thank you for that update. That was funny. That was a good one. That was a good one. Thank you for that. Let's see. Pound the Pavement. DeMeo got 30 Blade scripts. Probably. I mean, he was a former writer for Blade, so he probably does. Thank you so much for that. Quiet One, what you got? Honestly, I'm good with just a Doomsday teaser trailer. I don't want to see a full trailer or a third trailer with spoilers. Marvel already has my money with this movie. Yes, I cannot stress that enough. There is absolutely no reason, once again, and I say this time and time again, there is no reason for you to watch any movie that you are already convinced on watching. There's no reason to watch the trailers. If you know you're going to watch it, you do not ever need to see more. The point of a trailer is just to get your butts in seats. It's just to convince you to get there. If you are ready for it, don't do it. It's done. Don't ruin it for yourself. There's nothing good about a trailer after you're convinced and seeing it and watching it. There's nothing good. Let's move on. We have a Spider-Man update. This is actually hot off the presses. Like, this just came in, and I had to grab this real quick. But apparently, Spider-Man, we've had a whole bunch of rumors of like who's going to be in it, what villains and stuff like that. But apparently, we have, I don't know if you want to call him a villain or a hero or anti-hero, whatever you want to call him. But it looks like it's about to get serious, because here comes the Punisher. That's right. John Bernthal's Punisher has now officially joined Tom Holland's Spider-Man Brand New Day, the latest Spider-Man movie from Sony and Marvel. Destin Daniel, the Shang-Chi director, he is still directing this feature. And it has a release date of July 31st, 2026. So next summer, we should be getting this. Now, some of the movie rumor websites have listed a whole bunch of different villains. You got crime bosses to alien symbiotes who could appear in the feature, as well as a couple different versions of the Hulk. might get a different Hulk. We read that rumor a couple weeks ago, I think. The only thing clear at this stage is that Zendaya and Jacob Batalon are reprising their roles as MJ and best friend Ned, although how substantial those roles will remain unclear. Don't forget, of course, they forgot who Spider-Man Peter Parker was. So anyway, I like the fact that we got Punisher in here. I think that that's going to be kind of interesting. It's always interesting to me when Punisher interacts with other characters because he's such a polarizing character, right? Like he is a guy, he's off. He's a little nuts, right? And when he is doing stuff, it's interesting to see how other heroes react to him. Is Spider-Man going to get into a fight with the Punisher? How can the Punisher even keep up with Spider-Man? That will be because they're gonna have some little misunderstanding and they have to kind of go at it a little bit. We all know how that goes. But I like this because what this also lets me think and hope for is that if Punisher is going to be in Spider-Man Brand New Day, there's possibly a better guarantee, maybe, that this movie won't go too far out there and maybe it'll stay more grounded the way I think Spider-Man movies should be. Maybe we'll do that. But then again, we did see in No Way Home, Daredevil showed up, right? And he only showed up for like 2-3 minutes. So for all we know, maybe Punisher just shows up on the news and we just see him doing some crazy stuff and that's it. I don't know. So I'm not going to put too much into this. Again, we saw Charlie Cox do this when he was Daredevil, but it was very short-lived. So maybe this is a quick cameo. Maybe. But y'all let me know, how do you feel about the Punisher showing up in Spider-Man Brand New Day? Is there something that you would like to see between Punisher and Spider-Man? Let me know in the comments down below. Quiet One, thank you so much for the support. Spider-Man is a street level character, and I believe Punisher grounds the film in street level violence. I'm down with that. I am down with that. I like it. I'm here for that. If he's going to keep it from going all super crazy and wild and all that stuff, like that is perfectly fine by me. All right, let us move on. We have, I think, two more big topics. What else do we have? Yeah, we got to talk about James Gunn and the DCU. I got to give you my review, and then we're gonna talk about the Black Panther. So let's kind of go through this. So James Gunn gave a lot of interviews in the past 2 weeks. Obviously, I'm not going to go through every single thing. I'm going to try and go through the main highlights. Now, he's doing his press run for Superman, so you're getting a lot of information about Superman, about the DCU, and we'll just kind of run through most of these that we can. So let's talk about James Gunn on Superman and just a couple of things that we can look at throughout the movie or things that we can expect. In this interview, one thing he talked about was the world of Superman. He says, in this world, humanity has been clued into the existence of metahumans or superpowered individuals for 300 years. So again, like, this is not new for them. If they see a metahuman or somebody with powers or whatever, this world that they're living in, it's commonplace for them, right? So that's just to kind of help you understand the world that they're in. They talk about the Justice Gang, and that's who Hawkgirl, Green Lantern, and Mr. Terrific, they're all part of this corporate gang that is, I guess, backed by Maxwell Lord, a tech billionaire. So he's the one that finances them. Let's see, what else do we have? This is a long interview, so yeah, I had to go through like all of this. What else he got? He did say about Superman sequel. He said, what I'm working on is in some way, I mean, yes. But is it a straight up Superman sequel? I would not say necessarily. So some people have taken that comment and they have been like, oh, he's going to do basically a Batman, Superman, world's finest type of, crossover or something like that will be the actual sequel. Kind of similar to what Man of Steel was to, or what Batman v Superman was to Man of Steel. That was kind of sort of a Superman sequel. So yeah, James Gunn is going to try and work on a sequel, but he's saying it's not really a direct sequel, which means there's going to be more than just Superman in there. Let's see. He does talk about, a Wonder Woman movie, right? He says it's slow moving, but it's moving, while confirming a Wonder Woman movie is being written right now. Now, I already know there were some people, let's say a certain segment of the fandom, that were up in arms because, and this is to James Gunn's fault, he did tell, or at least Gal Gadot said that he said, paraphrasing, "You're in good hands. Everything is cool. We got you back. And ain't no Wonder Woman 3 happening." But James Gunn is saying, oh, we got a Wonder Woman movie being written. Odds are Gal Gadot is not going to be Wonder Woman no more. That's just the odds. Now, I liked her as the character, but I'm not going to be mad if they go out and find somebody else either. Because once again, you have got to break away from that whole Snyderverse. It's dead in the water. It's dead. It doesn't matter how much y'all want to give it life support. It's dead. Dead. Okay. So Wonder Woman is coming. That's great. She's got a new movie coming out. That's wonderful. Looking forward to it. Let's go. Let's kind of shift gears a little bit because Gunn started talking about Batman, and he started talking about Matt Reeves, I want to say. So he did say here what Matt is doing in the Elseworlds is still really important, despite all stories to the contrary. We're supposed to see that script shortly, and I can't wait. I like that. He's trying to show some support for Matt Reeves and the Batman too, because it is taking a while. He also says that he is conscious not to give audiences too much homework, right? He says, I'm really trying to be careful that anybody can dip in and see the story that is up next and not feel like they're missing information. I love that. Now, Marvel is just now adopting that. They're just now realizing, hey, maybe everybody's not going to watch Falcon and Winter Soldier before they watch Captain America 4. Hey, maybe everyone's not going to watch WandaVision before Doctor Strange 2. So that's smart. Keep it together for the fans, but you can also make sure it's not homework for everyone. They asked is Justice League on James Gunn's mind? Of course, he responds, but there is no Justice League in this world, not yet. So, of course, we know Justice League is coming. It will be happening, but it just isn't here just yet. So that's fine, and that makes sense. What else? Is this one? Okay, this is the one where, yes, he talks about Marvel and stuff. So he did go on in the interview, and he has some other thoughts on the industry. And he says here, and this was about Hollywood and their mistakes with the blockbusters and stuff. And he says, I do believe that the reason why the movie industry is dying, it's not because of people not wanting to see movies. And by the way, he has come out against the whole comic book fatigue myth. But he said here, it's not because of the home screens getting so good. The number one reason is because people are making movies without finished screenplay. Says here, Gunn noted that DC Studios recently killed a project because the script just couldn't get to the right place. saying everybody wanted to make the movie. It was greenlit, it was ready to go. The screenplay wasn't ready, and I couldn't do a movie where the screenplay's not good. He said Supergirl, Lanterns, Clayface, all those scripts really good, and that's why we're doing them. Let me tell you something. This is why I respect James Gunn. This is one of those reasons why I really respect him, because having a finished script is not unheard of. It's not crazy to be like, hey, you know what? Before we actually make a movie, maybe we should like know what it's about. Maybe we should like, I don't know what the story is going to be about, what it's going to say. Like, have a plan. Have a plan before you make announcements at Comic-Con with the actors and stuff. You wouldn't want to announce a movie that you don't even have a script for, right? That would just be silly, right? So I love and respect that. I mean, even Game of Thrones, we've heard stories about how the execs over there and the producers would be like, man, we could do a whole bunch of different Game of Thrones spinoffs, but if it's not working, if it doesn't sound compelling, get rid of it. Don't waste people's time just because it's a brand, just because you might make money. No, focus on the quality. So I absolutely love that he is taking that approach. I don't know what that project was that he thought about, but this is the mentality that all studios need to adopt. Don't do anything until you got a script that you know is fire, that you know is amazing, and then follow all the other steps after that. Ugh. He also goes on here and says, there is no corporate mandate from Warner Brothers to churn out a certain number of film and TV projects at DC Studios. And he did talk about how that Disney's mandate to increase Marvel's output amid the launch of Disney Plus had a negative impact on the larger universe. And that is something we have covered a lot. But he says here that wasn't fair, it wasn't right, and it killed Marvel. We don't have that mandate at DC to have a certain amount of movies and TV shows every year. So we're going to put out everything that we think is of the highest quality. Yes. That is all I think we get. This just feels like common sense. It feels like common sense. That's all you really need. Don't force stuff out just to do it. Now, he also goes on to say a little later, he knows that they're not going to bat 100%. He knows that some of the things that they feel that they like, they may not hit, but he's looking for a high average. I respect that as well. Even Marvel, as great as they've been, they don't have a whole great record. They're not perfect, but they do have more hits than they do misses. So that's all you can also ask for too. Just have a good average. Please, just have a good average. So I really respect that. I love it. And he's absolutely right. That Disney mandate, when people keep talking about Marvel sucks, listen, they get it. They've already been on record. They've admitted it. They've admitted they've dropped the ball. They admitted that they had to do, they were doing too much because they thought during the pandemic nobody was ever going to go back to theaters. I told you we were. I told you theaters were never going to go away. They just weren't. But they put all their time and attention on the streaming and it backfired. It did not work. So anyway, James Gunn is absolutely right about that. What else? I think we're going into Batman now. Yes, now he says Batman's my biggest issue in all of DC right now. Personally, I'm not writing Batman, but I am working with the writer of Batman and trying to get it right because he's incredibly important to DC, as is Wonder Woman. So outside of that stuff that I'm doing in the projects that are actively going, our two priorities are finishing our Wonder Woman and our Batman scripts. Let me tell you something. First of all, notice he did not want to name the actual writer for Batman. He's like, yo, I don't want y'all to know who it is. I'm working with that person, but I don't need y'all to know who it is because I don't want y'all sitting there putting pressure on this person. So cool. I respect that. If you guys go back to one of my shorts, I made a short video, and I said this a while back. I said, and I'll say it again, Superman is not going to make or break DC. It's not going to be the defining thing for James Gunn at all. If you're talking about whether or not the DCU will fail or not, it's always going to revolve around Batman. You cannot, absolutely not, have a successful DC franchise with a terrible Batman. Batman has historically been the biggest draw, the most popular, the most profitable character in DC. People care more about Batman than they do Superman. They might know Superman, but they care more about watching Batman. So you have got to nail this without any question. This is one of the reasons why I got on James Gunn when he prematurely jumped the gun, pun intended, by sitting here and announcing Andy Muschietti as the director for Batman Brave and Bold. You should not have done that. You should have waited to see the reception of The Flash, to see if The Flash was even going to be successful, because it makes no sense to take someone who just gave you one of the biggest flops in recent history for your franchise to give him the keys to the kingdom to the biggest vehicle, the franchise player. You cannot let them drive that car. You cannot. You just got into a whole accident. I'm not giving you the keys to the Porsche. Are you kidding me? Go home. No. So I'm glad that he understands. Yeah, I know he said Wonder Woman, and I'm not even trying to be sexist or nothing. Wonder Woman ain't the building block for the DC. I know that's part of y'all Trinity, but it's Superman can fail. Wonder Woman can fail. Batman cannot fail. Batman can carry everything else. Batman cannot fail. But I'm glad that he at least has his priorities in order and knows that those three have to come together and make it work. He says here, Batman has to be the reason for, has to have a reason for existing, right? So Batman can't just be, oh, we're making a Batman movie because Batman's the biggest character in all of WB, which he is, correct? But because there's a need for him in the DCU, and a need that he's not exactly the same as Matt Reeves' Batman. Okay, I like that. But yet, he's not a campy Batman. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in a funny, campy Batman. Really, let's go, James Gunn. That's maturity. Because if you recall, when you look at James Gunn's resume, he does the comedy, campy stuff. Now, he's done darker films and stuff like that, but he likes the campy stuff. But the fact that he recognized that we don't need a campy Batman, you need a dark, gloomy, whatever Batman. Yes. Yes. Please. I don't need my Batman being funny. That's not what has sold. That is not. You can have the Joker be funny. You can have funny stuff happen around Batman, but Batman, the movie, the tone, the character, none of that needs to be campy. None of that has to be silly or goofy. You will fail so fast. So fast. Now, I understand you don't want, let's say, a dark Superman and stuff like that. The only person that got to be dark has got to be Batman. I've told y'all this before, and I'll say it again. Batman is nuts. Okay? He is crazy. He is psychotic. Ain't nothing funny about this man with a mental illness that happens to have a whole lot of money. Ain't nothing funny about that. He's crazy. Right? Make that. Show that. Show this man's trauma. Show this man's pain. Show this man delivering the pain and trauma to others. That's all you need in a Batman. Ain't here for those jokes. So yes, I love that he got that understood. It says here, Gunn said developing a Wonder Woman movie is actually easier for me because there haven't been so many infinite portrayals of Wonder Woman. Definitely not in movies, but really anywhere that there have been of Batman, and that is true. We've only had a handful of movies, so he could really do a Wonder Woman movie however he wants. That works. He says every single Batman story has been told. He's the most famous superhero in the world and the most popular superhero in the world, and people love him because he's interesting. But also having so much of him out there can make him boring. Doubtful. Doubtful. Now, if you have a whole bunch of him out there and they're not good, yeah. But sir, I'm ready for that Court of Owls. I'm ready, for that White Knight story. Like you can do a lot. Just because all them stories are out there doesn't mean everybody knows them. You can keep going with Batman because the movies, people don't get tired of them. They don't. They get tired of George Clooney, but they're not gonna get tired of Batman in general. So yeah, that was that for this one. Let's see. I know he did another one. Oh. So once again, when you turn on the lights, certain critters start to scurry. James Gunn also had some things to say about some of the Snyderites out there. Now, when I say the Snyderites, I'm not talking about people that just so happen to be fans of Zack Snyder. I'm not talking to you. If you like Man of Steel, you like the Snyder Cut, I'm not talking to you. Be quiet in advance. I'm talking to the cultists. I'm talking to the people that go out their way to just ruin other people's lives and enjoyment because they can't get what they want with Henry Cavill and they can't get what they want with the Snyder Cut. And all. I'm talking about those extremists. Those are the people I refer to as the Snyderites. Okay. Now, I don't know if you guys saw this, but this was posted on Reddit, and it was like on some Reddit post. I think it did get taken down. I want to say, I believe it got taken down. But basically, it was like this post, and it was about a call to all the Snyderites out there. And it was a call for them to take action against Superman when the movie comes out on July 11th. And just to kind of give you the gist of it, they wanted people to post spoilers everywhere. They wanted people to post bad reviews, basically the review bombing. And they wanted people to reserve movie tickets, but don't complete the purchase, which would basically give the impression that the movie was sold out, but it would prevent people from actually buying the tickets, and it would tank basically, the movie's box office. And then they go on to claim Gunn fired the first shot and killed the Snyderverse, and here's our chance to take that fight back to him. First of all, let me just say, James Gunn did not kill the Snyderverse. Y'all killed the Snyderverse. Y'all had all that energy to make all them hashtags, but you have no energy to go put enough money in the bank for WB with all them movies. Black Adam had a whole Superman show up, and y'all didn't care. Y'all didn't show up. Y'all killed Snyderverse, not WB. Because I promise you, if the Snyder Cut movies actually made more money, if all 50,000 of y'all people out there went to go watch the movie 10 times, the movies would still keep going. They could be bad. How many times have we seen bad quality films still continue, even as long as they just make money? This is why Fast and the Furious is not dead, because somebody out there keeps paying for these movies. Even the Venom movies continued because y'all paid for it. So don't blame James Gunn for cleaning up the mess that y'all made because y'all didn't show up enough. Y'all didn't focus y'all energy on getting people to go watch the movies. You'd rather focus your energy on harassing the executives and being bullies and trolls online. Y'all killed the Snyderverse, not James Gunn. Anyway, this is also pathetic. Imagine being so miserable that you have to focus your energy on organizing people to take away other people's entertainment. Y'all are pitiful. And again, I'm not talking about everybody that likes Snyderverse, and I'm not talking about y'all. I'm just talking about the people that are committed to review bombing or to posting spoilers or to all that other, like, y'all are pitiful. Sorry, individuals. Golly, like, get out your mama's basement, please. Anyway, James Gunn did have a comment. He did respond to this post because, you know, it did kind of make its way to him. And when he responded about it, he said, he actually responded to the post, I believe. And he said, I think we will survive. I'm not sure the 8 whole people that listen to that person, that guy, are going to impact the course of events. James Gunn, I respect that. I respect that. Because first of all, it probably is only 8 people that even liked that comment or that post on Reddit before it got taken down anyway. Oh yeah, this is it. Yeah, I think he responded on Threads with that. So I like that he had that to say and basically just be like, listen, y'all are not significant, and they're not. And I'm glad that they're not going to give it more energy than it needs to have at all. There is something else that James Gunn had some issues with, and that is with the Batman 2. Because as I mentioned before, you got Matt Reeves, who is still working on the script, and we don't know exactly what's going on, why it's taking a long time. It things happen, right? But people have been going out their way to either talk about how the Batman 2 is canceled, it's not happening. Some people have been going after Matt Reeves, you know, just, I don't know, saying just things probably that they don't need to be saying. But James Gunn was sick of it, right? Same way he was sick of these Snyderites. He's tired of these people coming out talking about Matt Reeves, talking about the Batman 2. And in this interview with Rolling Stone, he said he calls out people who say the Batman 2 is canceled. He said it's not canceled. We don't have a script. Matt's slow. Let him take his time. Let him do what he's doing. God, people are mean. Let him do his thing, man. Now, first of all, James, you ain't have to call this man slow. I'm just saying. I know James Gunn is sticking up for his boy, and that's cool. I respect that. I love it. You ain't have to call him slow. Say that he's methodical. Say that he is meticulous. You know, just say that this man is careful. He is passionate. He wants to make sure that he go. You ain't have to call that man slow. You know, I'm just saying there's no good way to just say Matt is slow. Okay? You leave him alone. He is slow. Leave him alone. Like, come on, man. Don't say that. You know, just say he's taking his time. Just something. Okay. But I understand where his heart was, right? I understand he's sticking up for Matt Reeves. And here's the other thing that I don't think enough people talk about. I know that people are like, you know, this happens all the time. This happens all the time when scripts happen. Sometimes the script might take like years to get made. You know, it happens. And the fact that we've been hearing James Gunn be adamant about, hey, we're not doing anything until a script comes through. Like, I love that. Thank you. Let's keep that same energy. So it's fine. You know, it is fine. So anyway, James Gunn does go on and talks more about the whole Batman 2, and he's sick of these people. He's tired of them. He said, listen, We're supposed to get a script in June. I hope that happens. We feel really good about it. People should get off Matt's nuts because it's like, let the guy write the screenplay in the amount of time he needs to write it. That's just the way it is. He doesn't owe you something because you like his movie. I mean, you like his movie because of Matt. So let Matt do the things the way he does. Listen, I'm with this. In other words, let him cook. Let him cook, right? And it's funny because I saw, a friend of mine actually, very big Snyder fan. He had posted something about how, no, we are owed something. We're owed the Batman 2. We pay the ticket prices. If it's not for us, you don't have a studio and all. And I'm like, that's kind of true, right? Like on paper. But at the same time, I don't want to hear this pressure that we're putting on filmmakers or writers or whatever when you weren't doing that in other cases. So, for example, when Chadwick Boseman passed away, nobody in their right mind was saying, Ryan Coogler, you owe us a Black Panther 2. You better write a Black Panther 2 right now. Nobody was doing that. For the Snyder fans out there, when Zack Snyder tragically lost his daughter, who out there was like, yo, you better give us a Batman v Superman. You better give us a Justice League right now. Who was doing that? The only people that were doing that were the people at WB, who, in that case, they replaced him with Joss Whedon and got that trash in the theaters. So all I'm saying is, and I'm not saying that Matt Reeves suffered a loss or whatever. I'm saying we don't know what Matt Reeves is going through. Maybe Matt Reeves really is slow. Fine. That's not a crime. Maybe Matt Reeves is experiencing some sort of loss. Maybe he's got some health issues. Whatever the case is, I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, you owe us this right here, right now at this specific time. I've always said, I will wait for greatness. If you need more time to make this thing great, especially after you've already given us something really good, you got time. There is nothing dictating that Matt Reeves got to hurry up and do this on a schedule. However, Robert Pattinson is getting older, but I'm just saying, chill out. Y'all need to chill out, okay? Let the man cook. Let him do what he got to do. Y'all sitting here acting like y'all ain't eat before. Relax. First, and on top of that, some of y'all are out there ready to pre-hate on these things anyway, because that's not Ben Affleck as Batman. So what are y'all doing? Please relax. Because I would just feel, I would hate, and God forbid, we find out he had a terrible loss or he had a sickness or something happened. Because y'all know we've been through this before, where we see an actor getting skinnier or we don't see someone for a while and then all of a sudden we find out later, oh, they were dealing with this in the past. You don't want to be that jerk who reacts off of your own personal desires and expectations without having all the facts and information to only find out later that, like, yeah, like there was a real reason, right? I'm pretty sure Matt Reeves wants the Batman 2 done just as much as everybody else. Leave him alone. Anyway, and on top of that, like, as for James Gunn, I would just say, like, listen, don't even let these people get on your nerves and stuff. Just tell them, hey, the script is coming. And that's it. Leave it alone. Script is coming. The script is coming. The script is coming. The script is coming. Leave that on repeat and let them deal with that. You don't have to give them no other excuses. Anyway, unfortunately, James Gunn is irritated because he says, I'm irritated by people. I mean, it's just that thing people don't need to be entitled about. It's going to come out when he feels good about the screenplay, and Matt's not going to give me a screenplay until he feels good about the screenplay. Love it. He goes on and says something else. He says Gunn has said that he is pulling back from using his social media platforms like Threads to debunk countless incorrect rumors about his projects and those he's developing at DC. He said, I've kind of quit because it just so happens so often. There are a couple of people specifically who have a pretty large followings who just consistently put out false stories, just one after the other, 95% of the time. Maybe once out of every 20 times, they say something that has some slight or partial basis in reality, and it gets to be old. I'm not sure some of those people. I'm not sure of some of those people that I'm not actually helping them in a certain way by debunking them because you're giving them traffic, which I always do, but I think they like it. So I mostly quit. So let me point this out too. I actually loved and appreciated how James Gunn was going out of his way to do this. It was refreshing. It was lovely because we would have certain people grace the internet with poor reports or rumors. And a lot of times those things just did not pan out. So it was nice to hear straight from the source that no, that's not true. No, that rumor has no foundation. That was lovely because I've already told y'all the rumor leak culture is already problematic. It's already, it either raises your expectations or it creates a send off where you're like, oh man, that thing I was hoping for, it never panned out. So, absolutely, I loved when James Gunn would come out and be like, yeah, okay, that's actually real, or some of that's real, not all of it, or that's completely garbage. I love it, but I also understand how he can get tired of this. So let me just make this quick pitch right now. Because again, we just heard that James Gunn is no longer interested in debunking a lot of these false rumors that come out, even though I found them refreshing and I thought that they were super important. Let me just put this message out there for James Gunn. That work of debunking the rumors and all that stuff, I still think it's needed. If you will be open to the idea, I think the DCU needs kind of like a press secretary, kind of similar to like the White House, where no, the president doesn't have to come out and debunk or answer every question. No, you have a press secretary do that for you. So I would like to volunteer myself, please, as someone who avidly hates rumors and false, well, let me say, as someone who avidly hates false rumors and hates spoilers, let me be the one. I will be there to type that up for you. I'll be there to let people know that's false, that's right. Let me do it. I submit myself as tribute. Okay, I will be the official DCU debunker. Okay, let me do it. I got your back. I will help. This is clearly a service that is needed in the streets. These internet streets need a debunker. I will do it for you because I'm tired of these people too. You don't need that pressure. Go direct all them other movies and do all the other DCU stuff. Let me do the dirty work. You know, I'll send you my W-9 and my application later, my resume. Okay. But y'all let me know. Do you think that it is actually helpful to have someone or at least a brand debunking rumors or just giving clarifications on things? Do y'all think that that is something that is needed? Would you appreciate that? Should James Gunn actually hire me? Whatever you think, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I want y'all to know I'm about to make that a clip and I'm going to tag James Gunn and I need y'all help because your boy needs a job. Your boy needs a job. I'm trying to get hired by James Gunn. Let's go. Let's go. Anyway, just as a quick follow-up here with all the talk of the Batman 2, we also have the Batman 2 will begin filming in January. So the script is going to be handed in this month. So there you go. Man, what was that dude's name off of it was the Key and Peele. What was the dude, the translator? I want to be James Gunn's translator. Absolutely. Like everything, James, everything you don't want to say, let me say it. I will gladly say it. I will call these people out. I will talk about them. I'll do it up. Let me do it. Okay. Let me, same way you can have a bodyguard put their hands on people and stuff. Let me put my Twitter fingers on all these folks out there that spitting out them lies and let me debunk them theory. Let me do the work. Okay. Let me do the dirty work, please. Woo, that would be fun. That would be fun. All right. Let me know what y'all think about all that fun DC stuff in the comments. I've got stuff. Let's see. Okay, Tracy. See, Tracy been getting on me forever. Hey, man, we get it. Andor is not your jam. You'd like season 2 much better. More action conflict. By the way, Lucas said that Star Wars was allegory for Vietnam. Never said it was a YA show. Sorry for asking you. Listen, that's fine. No, I totally get the allegory part. Totally get it. And I hear you. Everyone has been saying season 2 is better. I am going to watch season 2. I hope y'all right. So I will give it a shot. I'm there. Let's see. JN, who'd be your pick for Wonder Woman? I don't know. I to be honest with you, I don't know yet. I know that there was when Gal Gadot was going through, there was a lot of body shaming going around. Because we all had an interpretation of Wonder Woman, thinking that it's got to be Gina Carano, it's got to be some woman that's swole and beefy and all that stuff. But I would argue that I think that Gal Gadot did a very good job, and also kind of proved that you don't have to be this swole, big type of person and just to play that. So honestly, I don't know. Like, I'd have to really go through the list, but I think what matters first, because we know physicality is not the primary driver of having a good Wonder Woman, you got to go with a good actress first. You have to look for an actress that can act their butt off, and that would be the first and primary driver as to who Wonder Woman could be. Now, obviously, you need someone attractive, right? I think that it would be naive to suggest that this big Amazonian presence is just an average looking woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not gonna name no names. I'm not gonna shame nobody, but you need to. I mean, Gal Gadot was picked because she's a beautiful woman, right? She is pretty. You needed a better actress, though. You need someone who can really tap into the emotions, who can communicate fierceness, who can communicate a level of royalty, of regality, I guess, a warrior. Like, you need an actress that can communicate all these things, and hopefully everything else falls into place. So whoever said Beyonce, no, don't have the Beehive coming after me, but no, we're not going to do that. We're not. Just my opinion. Come on through. Y'all know the routine. Make sure you go subscribe to this channel. When are you going to review Dragon Ball Daima? Never. Probably never. And I'll tell you why. I love Dragon Ball Z, right? Love Dragon Ball Super. So don't get it twisted. Like, I am a Dragon Ball fan. I didn't jump on Dragon Ball franchise with the original Dragon Ball series. I mean, I've watched it, but it wasn't what got my attention. It's not what made me a fan. Dragon Ball Z made me a fan, right? So even with Dragon Ball GT, One of the things I'd hated was this infatuation of making Goku a kid. I hated that. I fast forwarded through a whole bunch of that, and I liked it when they actually, finally grew him up and all that. So this whole idea with Daima making him a kid again, or all of them kids, it really turned me off. Now I have started watching it. It's okay, but right now, since they're still kids, this is filler for me. This is background. I'm on my phone playing. I'm not paying a lot of attention. So I'm really honestly only watching Dragon Ball Daima just so that I can see the Super Saiyan 4 transformation. But this is not a show that I would want to review. It's not a show that I'm even taking all that seriously. I'm watching it as a casual entertainment piece. Now, if you were to say, like, yo, they're doing another Dragon Ball Super and they're doing something like, okay, now that's different because I can take that seriously. I'm not taking Dragon Ball Daima seriously at all. Like, just when you want to go have fun by making your main characters kids because you think that's cute, or you want to tap into the first Dragon Ball, you lose me. You lose me. I need that Frieza energy. I need that Cell Gohan energy. I need my man Future Gohan energy. I need that Super Saiyan Broly type of action. That's the Dragon Ball I'm looking for. I don't care about these kids. So, that's so sorry. Sorry. We can talk about it. If you ever want to talk about it, I got you, bro. Like, I go on your channel. We could talk about it, but I'm not going to go out my way for that. No, not for me. All right. Oh yeah, Majin Buu energy. Come on, man. Yes, all of that. All right, let's go. I gotta give y'all. Oof. All right. Let's talk about 28 years later. Now, let me start off by saying that I am a huge fan of 28 Days, the franchise. I recently just rewatched the first movie, 28 Days. And what's interesting about that is I completely forgot it, right? I mean, this movie has been out for 23 years. I think it came out in 2022 or 2002. So that was definitely a movie that I liked it when it came out. After 2 decades, I completely forgot about it. All I remembered was Cillian Murphy was in it. But watching it again, I relived that whole experience and I enjoyed it a lot. Danny Boyle, Alex Garland came through, did their thing. Then I rewatched 28 weeks later in preparation for this movie. And I have to say, I enjoyed it so much, tremendously. Shout out to Harold Perrineau. I almost forgot he was in there. Jeremy Renner was great. That introduction scene was amazing. That scene alone with Don, the husband, and the wife in the intro for 28 weeks later, it goes down to me as one of the best intros of all time because it was so fantastic. We can have a conversation about this a little later if you guys want to, but I have some thoughts. Matter of fact, I'll talk about it later. About 28 weeks and the big debate, was Don right or was he bogus for what he did? We'll talk about that later. Anyway, so I did my research, I did my rewatches and everything in anticipation for this film. I will also set up this up by saying I've been super excited because you got the originals coming back, Danny Boyle to direct and Alex Garland to write. And I've been a fan of Alex Garland with it's been a little hit or miss, but really enjoyed Ex Machina. I enjoyed Civil War for the most part, and I loved his latest entry, Warfare, as well. So the fact that, and of course, 28 days later. So the fact that he was coming back to do 28 years later, to team up, this to me was the best way to set all this up, and I was here for it. So let's start this review off with the intro, or at least a quick intro, and it starts off basically with a group of survivors are a group of survivors of the rage virus. They live on a small island. when one of the group they leave the island on a mission into the mainland, he discovers secrets, wonders, and horrors that have mutated not only the infected but other survivors. Yikes. So let's kind of talk about the good that I liked about this movie. So, first and foremost, I think that the opening, once again, is perfection. Like, I loved the way they opened up this movie. They do not hold back. The fact that they started this movie off the way that they did, I think it perfectly set up the tone of like, okay, if we can go here with it, you can expect that a whole lot of other stuff is about to ish is gonna hit the fan. So I was down for this, loved it. I also really enjoyed the world building that they had in this movie. So Alex Garland, I think, does a really, really good job of creating like this world where you get a hint of a wider global structure that's going on. You get maybe some political maybe societal things or aspects that draw bigger questions, and they create more mysteries that can kind of give you a better sense of scale of how big and what's going on with this world. And it kind of leaves you in the position where you just want to know more. I know I had a whole lot more questions, and I was like, okay, you're telling me this happened with society after so many years. You're telling me this is what's developing. Give me more. Give me more. So I think that the other aspect that was lovely, and I really, really enjoyed this, was how they were able to raise the bar when it came to the infected. So the closest example I could give you is probably in The Last of Us. If you've watched The Last of Us, you know that the infected people, they're shown a certain way, but as you go further into the season, you see that there are levels to this, right? In The Last of Us, you had the regular infected, you had the stalkers, you had the bloaters, all of that. I love how they took a similar approach in this movie. And when I tell you, alphas are wild. Like, the concept of alphas in this movie had me going. These things were scary. These things were intense. These things were probably the scariest things I had seen in a long time. And I'm just going to say that what I loved was how much of a challenge they posed to the characters and stuff. I loved it. I thought that they um presented a unique challenge for the characters. And let me just say that this scene right here is probably one of the best scenes in the entire movie. You'll know it when you see it. But when I tell you, this thing literally had me on the edge of my seat. And let me also say that the cinematography and the visuals are so beautiful. I mean, even this shot right here is fantastic. I loved how they used the different camera angles to heighten the suspense, to really make these new infected even more terrifying. I mean, look at a shot like this. By the way, that scene also with the house, with the closed hallways, it kind of gives you this claustrophobic feel. But the fact that you had the characters in these high intense type of moments, I'm literally on the edge of my seat. Like, I'm sitting here like, ooh, 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 ooh. Like, what's going on? What's happening? Loved it. Love, love, loved it. So you had the visuals, you had the infected, you had all that stuff working. I liked even the action scenes, especially when they're, fighting and stuff. I thought the action scenes were shot very well. You had some really dope moments where, they're using bow and arrows and they're pausing the camera, they're rotating the camera just so that you can see the high speed action and stuff. Fantastic. Fantastic. So for me, that is where the movie was really good. You had good world building, setup. You had good characters. Especially I did like Aaron Taylor Johnson. I thought the action was done very well. The cinematography was fantastic. The story, the lore really did a good job of evolving and moving forward. And then we get to the bad. So, when it came to the bad, I'll start with the minor stuff first. And this is nitpicking. So I'm admitting that this is nitpicking, but I don't think that some of the flashbacks were necessary. There were certain flashbacks and cutscenes of different things of like, knights in medieval wars or, modern day armies and stuff. I felt like that's where the movie was starting to get a little bit too, I wouldn't say art housey, but it was kind of like we don't really need this. I understand the metaphoric stuff that it was going for. I understood the thematic, allegory and all those things that it was trying to parallel. But to me, as a horror fan in this genre, in this franchise, I don't think any of that was needed. It's one of those things where it's like, again, I get it. You're trying to be a little creative with it. But after the first two movies that didn't do this, you don't need to add this in now. So some of those cutscenes, I think they could have just cut out. Um, I think one of the more frustrating things with this film with me was I don't think they did a good job with the talent that they had here. They had some great actors here. I mentioned Aaron Taylor Johnson, fantastic action, kind of guy who can do those physical scenes. I thought he was wasted. Great in the first half, completely. He's just gone after that. Jack O'Connell, we just saw him off of Sinners, right? He was Remick, in the Sinners. You barely get him. You barely get him. I'm like, why is he even here? Whatever. I think that probably one of the bigger misuses might have been Jodie Comer. She plays the mother in this. I did not like how they handled her character. There were some issues with her story that felt like it felt as though we were going to get something unique from her. And when I mean by unique, I mean that it seemed as though we were going to get a story angle from her character that would have made sense for this franchise and it would have been specific for this franchise. In other words, whatever was going on with her character, you would not see that happen in any other universe except for the 28 weeks, 28 years universe. So when we do find out what's going on with her, I thought it was a little bit anticlimactic. I thought that I understood it, but I was like, man, what a wasted opportunity for something that you built up to kind of just give us just that. And then I think the biggest drop was for characters and actors probably had to be with Ralph Fiennes. This is a fantastic actor and a wonderful, intriguing character that, in my opinion, was very unsatisfying. Again, the movie hypes the character up to be something or someone that I thought was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to meet this person. And it's not like they were completely boring or anything like that, but to me, the character did not live up to the hype that the movie tried to elevate him to be. So that to me was really dissatisfying, did not work out. And I don't think that it cashed in on the promise. And I think overall, the biggest problem with this movie for me was the third act. As I mentioned in the good areas, the first two acts of this movie are phenomenal. They are just so good. The action, the suspense, all of that worked perfectly. It's the moment we meet this guy. And I wouldn't even say when we meet him, it was a little bit before that. I would probably say the train scene is probably where this movie started to go downhill for me. The train scene. It's like the story started to take a different direction that I don't feel was true to the franchise itself. It felt disconnected. It almost felt as though we were watching a 28 years movie, and then the last third of the movie felt like something completely different. It felt like I felt like somebody changed the channel and you're watching a different movie now, right? So for me, the sudden twist that they also included with the infected, I did not particularly care for that twist either. I thought it was also anticlimactic. I also did not feel that it was true to what they previously set up. And that was something that really started to turn me off. But I think the biggest turnoff, and you've probably seen people talk about it, you've probably heard people mention it, it was the dang on Power Ranger moment. And you will absolutely know it when you see it. I'm sorry. That to me was the final nail in the coffin. That's when I was like, oh, you're not taking this movie seriously anymore. Oh, you want this to be a joke? Then guess what? I will look at this as a joke as well. So I thought that, that moment especially was just kind of like, you guys had a really good movie going and you made this story go into a different direction that it didn't have to. I mean, I even remember in my screening, and I'm not saying this will apply to everybody, but that moment was so jarring that I actually heard people laughing. And I don't think they were laughing because it was like funny, haha. I think they were laughing because it just felt so out of place. It felt so just random and just out there. So, anyway, let me get to the reason. When it comes to 28 years later, I believe that it was a thrilling, edge of your seat sequel that falls completely on its face because it tries to do too much. It starts with this fire beginning, and it got the fear going, it had the action going, and it makes you believe that it understands the assignment. It makes you believe that it understands the roots from the original. But by the time the credits roll, it doesn't feel like that promise is ever kept. It feels like it's a complete send off to me. And this is the biggest, I would say, disappointment of the year when it comes to a movie. Yes, the action works. Yes, the threats are great and terrifying. But the story takes such a bizarre turn that it damages everything that came before it. So when it comes to the rating for 28 years later, I've got to give it a 5.5 out of 10. I guess you could say that this movie, it had the right virus, but the wrong cure. 28 years later, it had like all the right ingredients of a modern, great horror movie. But to me, it still found a way to waste its own potential. It's one of those things where, again, if you watch the previous movies, they are simple, right? There's an outbreak that happens. You got to have some survivors try and figure it out. That's it. Second movie, outbreak happens. People try and survive. That's it. This movie tried to do way too much. It tried to add too many themes. It tried to be too, I don't know. Like it tried to get in its own head so much. Like it tried to be too philosophical at times. And it was just like, yo, this is no longer entertaining for me. So anyway, I would just say that you do not have to rewatch the previous films. Although I do think that those other films were better. If I had to rank the 28, years, days, movies, I would say that 28 weeks is the best. Then you have 28 days. And then all the way at the bottom, you got 28 years. And there is a sequel that's coming up. The sequel is going to be The Bone Castle, I believe. That is going to be directed by Nia DaCosta, and I hate this for her. Because right now I feel so unmotivated to keep watching this, because the other thing is I have trust issues if Alex Garland is going to keep writing this, because now I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, you shaking my confidence now with this movie and these little twists and turns that you're doing. And I hate the fact that Nia DaCosta has to once again be served up an opportunity with a film that may or may not pan out for her. Now, here's the thing. Right now, as I'm doing this video, 28 years later is sitting at a pretty high Rotten Tomatoes score. Like it's 90% or something like that. Listen, that's fine, right? I know that my take might not be in the majority, but for me, because that's all I can speak for, that ending did not work. And maybe the ending is going to be divisive for some other people. And as I've told y'all before, there are two types of people: people that like the journey more, or people that like the destination more. I like the destination more. In other words, if there's a very good journey but the destination sucks, I'm not going to have the best time. Other people will enjoy a really good journey, and if the destination sucks, it's okay. I'm not that kind of person. So that's why my review for this movie is not as positive at all. But I would say, listen, if you're a longtime fan of these movies, just go in with caution, right? Lower your expectations. Obviously, go watch it for yourself, make up your own mind, and hopefully you guys will have a better time with the movie than I did. So if you have watched 28 years later, or if you plan on watching it, come on back to this video. Let me know, what did you think about it in the comments down below. All right. That is that. Yeah, I gotta say, like, because I actually went to go see that with a friend of mine, and we were hyped. We was like, man, we've been waiting on this movie. We was excited for this movie. I was literally watching this thing like 5-10 minutes before the movie was coming out. Then I saw this thing at the end. I was like, what? Huh? This was, and then I saw people loving it on top of that online. I was like, what did y'all watch the same thing? Okay, I mean, you know, everybody entitled to their own opinions, but okay. Gonna let me know to look twice at y'all reviews, you know. But anyway, let's see. Okay, JN, my bad, man. Let me get this for you. I should have done this with the James Gunn stuff. Happy belated Father's Day, E-Man. Thank you so much. Hope it was a great one for you. It was. Happy Juneteenth before it gets canceled. I know, right? And James Gunn, we need either Static Shock or Black Lightning on the big screen. Clayface is only costing $40 million. I could not agree more. Now, listen, I have tried to, you know, get my interviews in. I've tried to, you know, make the request. I think James Gunn is going to play it safe. I think that he is going to do the Rolling Stone, the Entertainment Tonight. I'm not counting on the fact that I'll be able to interview him. But if I could, you better believe those will be my questions. Where are those movies at? You better believe that. So it is what it is. But thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. But yeah, that 28 years, that bothered me so much. Like, I think we watched the trailer here, and I'm like, yo, I really wanted this thing to work. Like I was mad the next day. I was mad because that movie just, I usually have a good radar for when a movie is not going to be good. And I failed. They got me. They tricked me. They got me. I got bamboozled. All right, let's get to the final topic of the night, and that is none other than a new Black Panther. So we've heard and seen this. I'm sure many of you guys have. But it looks and sounds as though we might have a little confirmation. A little confirmation. Now, we've all had our own picks for who we would like to see as the new Black Panther some way, somehow in the MCU. Ever since the tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman, you know, and of course, with the whole recast T'Challa movement and all that, the idea of who can step into that role has been something we've all thrown out. I've thrown out Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. People have gravitated to Aldous Hodge, which I think would be great. But of course, other folks have also mentioned Damson Idris. Yes, the guy from Snowfall. The guy is a young man. You know, he has been popularized in this idea of having him be the next Black Panther. Matter of fact, if you guys recall, we had some concept art that came out, and the concept art, even though they don't want to say it's official, this brother did look a lot like Damson Idris, right? This concept art for Avengers Doomsday Secret Wars had a Black Panther up there, and he did look like Damson Idris, right? He has the resemblance. So, in case you haven't seen it, let me see if I can pull it up. We have Damson Idris being interviewed for his latest movie, F1. And in this interview, he's actually asked about whether or not he's been in talks with Marvel about playing T'Challa, playing Black Panther. So let me grab this here. Okay. So let's check this out in case you haven't seen it yet, and see what his answer was in this case. Wait, do we need to? It ain't gonna hurt. Why not? All right, let's check out what he had to say when he was asked about playing Black Panther.
Yes or no? There's some speculation out there in the universe that you could be cast as the next Black Panther. Have you had any conversations about that? Yes or no?
Yes, no.
By the way, the yes, no means yes.
Could mean no.
No, probably means yes. If they asked, would you say yes?
Yes.
Okay. Next, yes.
All right. All right. So first of all, I loved his first initial reaction because I'm reading that body language, that right? That as in, I want to tell you, I'm excited to tell you, but I know my lawyer's right over there, and that red dot from the Black Widow is right over here. I can't tell you. So I'm gonna say yes, no. Yeah, yes, no. Yes, no? Yes, no. Okay. I understand. Brother, we understand. Okay. I want you to live too. I don't want them Black Widows coming for you, right? I understand. I'm glad you understood what you had to do and what you had to say. That's great. And you answered the other question even better, which was, if they asked you, would you say yes? That's safe. You can say that. Now, here's what I found interesting. Clearly, he has not gone through the Marvel training, because the Marvel training would have had him answering that question a whole different way. If somebody would have said, hey, you gonna play Black Panther? He would have been like, who's Black Panther? What's a Black Panther? Is that a sequel to the Lion King? That if he were Marvel trained, he would have done that. So right now, I think it's still a little raw. In other words, they have had conversations. Marvel is known for doing that. Marvel is known for reaching out and just saying like, hey, you want to play this role? Or, as we know with Coleman Domingo, we know that he would be like, yeah, we've been in talks, but like nothing is finalized. So I'm okay that he kind of give that yes, no. It would not surprise me if he has been talked about, but this is where we have to be careful. And this is also where I'm not about to get excited yet. Not yet. But before I go into that, I did see, I think it was, I'm so sorry, I forget. I think Jason posted this. My bad if I got that wrong. But I did see another video of Damson talking about this on Sway. So let's look at that. Let's look at that and talk about this.
There's been a lot of talk about you potentially playing a multiverse variant of T'Challa.
That's my time.
Okay, you gotta go.
I'm playing. I'm playing.
First of all, I love how Sway set that up. Multiverse variant of T'Challa. Love that. Not just, oh, you get to play Black Panther and the mantle. No. Multiverse version of T'Challa. I love that. Thank you, Sway. Thank you.
Never. You have all the time.
Okay. Well, if that was a possibility, what would stepping into that role mean to you?
I mean, it would mean everything, of course. You know, again, it's all about responsibility. But either way, whoever plays that part, if that part even happens, I'm going to be, in the theaters supporting it. I think I knew Chad, I knew Chad well. He was an icon to us, So just someone like Chad and what he represented, I think it is important that essence carries on, and I think that's what he would want as well.
Absolutely.
First of all, Brother Damson, thank you so much for that. I'm glad that he understands and he communicated a message that we have not heard enough of from other actors who acted as though, it's I don't want to be disrespectful. I don't want to dishonor. No, Chad, it was Chad's role. He should do it. No. If you're going to step into a role, you do it with respect and you try to honor all the people that came before you. That's the point. Hence why I've said multiple times, recasting has never, ever been a bad thing. Ever. And I love the fact that if Damson Idris were to step into the role of T'Challa, variant, whatever, he would do it with the utmost respect and honor. And he also threw in that other nugget of, I think Chadwick would want that too. Guess who also said that? I don't know. Chadwick's older brother, Derek Bozeman. He also said the same thing. He communicated the same sentiment that, yes, Chadwick would have no problem with somebody else stepping into that role because he knows how important that specific role is. Now that we have said that and established that, let's talk about the elephant in the room. I think I've made it clear that I don't like the idea of the Toussaint T'Challa Jr. thing. I don't think that is the best route to go, right? You have so many other routes that you could take. That's not the best route. I don't think Marvel has the guts to do a straight up recast because they don't want to disrespect the memory of Chadwick Boseman. So the best realistic, practical option is to do a variant from another universe, get your T'Challa, son of T'Chaka, all of that good stuff, get them from another universe. That's the easiest way to fix everything. Literally the easiest. I know some people are concerned that because Damson is younger, it could be the case that he could come in as the Toussaint character, right? He would come in as Toussaint from a different universe, a different time, whatever, and he would step into that role. Again, I don't think that is ideal. I think that is just not the best way to go about it, but that is a possibility that they'll do. However, when we look at the concept art, supposedly what was said, I forget who said it, so don't quote me on it, but supposedly what was said about this concept art was that this was not T'Challa Jr., this was not Toussaint, this was supposedly going to be another version of an ancestor of T'Challa. And my concern is that could be the route Marvel takes. keep in mind, thanks to Nate Moore and this ideology, they have been putting more emphasis on it's just the mantle. And I've told you guys the idea of, I don't care if it's Black Panther, I don't care what it is, people don't care about mantles. They care about the characters that define the mantles. Okay. So, like, just giving us another black person in the mantle of Black Panther, that's not enough. That's not sufficient. That's not okay. The same way, you're not going to give us just any old Kryptonian who happens to wear the House of LS and is not Kal-El. Y'all not going to do that and just call that Superman. You're not going to call Johnny B, who's flying around. That's not Superman, right? So we need to make sure that if you want T'Challa or the variant of T'Challa, and I've told y'all this before, we have to be hyper focused and effective with how we communicate. Then, and based off of my interview with Ryan Coogler, who told me he doesn't have control, he's basically, I'm paraphrasing, he can't do very much with Black Panther 3 until the Russo brothers do whatever they do. So whatever the Russo brothers decide on Doomsday or Secret Wars that affects Black Panther, that's what Ryan Coogler is going to have to pick up the pieces with and do his Black Panther 3 movie about. So if you are focused on not having T'Challa Jr., or if you don't want some random guy's ancestor to be Black Panther, y'all need to go talk to the Russos. Y'all need to make y'all voices known to the Russo brothers that this is what fans are actually looking for. And I can tell y'all this again. I know some people don't want to hear this because they're very passionate. You get more flies with honey than with vinegar. So go to the Russos. I don't think they're on Twitter anymore. I think they are on Instagram. Don't harass them. Don't be negative. Don't be all like, I'm not going to watch this if you don't do that. Listen, you want these folks to listen to you? Talk about how much you love T'Challa, the character, not the mantle, but the character. And see, let them know, like, oh, this is what the people want. Oh, this is what they really like. Oh, they really don't. It's not the mantle, it's this character. They keep talking about the character. They don't talk about Black Panther. They talk about the character. Hopefully, I'm not saying that's guaranteed, but hopefully that's where the message needs to be heard. Not to Kevin Feige, not to the Marvel social media. Talk to them Russo brothers. That's it. Don't harass them. Don't be negative. Express your fandom in a positive way. I believe that is the best way to communicate the message and to hopefully get our message heard. And maybe we can actually get at least a variant T'Challa that is true to the character and the nature. Hopefully. So I'm not going to get overly excited about this because I know that Marvel has their mindset in different ways, but I am hopeful that maybe we can direct our message towards the right individuals to let them know we would actually like a T'Challa to return, because that is the kind of character that we want and not just the mantle. Matter of fact, here, let me actually say something here. Maybe I just have to make it short or something. I don't know. If I had to, as a huge fan of the Black Panther franchise, if I had to make one plea to the Russo brothers, to Marvel Studios, it would be to absolutely include a variant T'Challa in the upcoming Doomsday or Secret Wars movie. I'm not talking about the mantle of Black Panther. I want T'Challa, and I think we all want this, T'Challa, the character, to be treated no differently than other popular characters that have popular mantles. Superman is a mantle. but it's always Kal-El. James Bond has the designation of 007, but it's always James Bond. You do not find a lot of relatability to rotating characters under a mantle. And that is why we're not looking for Toussaint Jr. We're not looking for T'Challa Jr. We're looking for T'Challa specifically to step into this role. Any actor, by the way, to step into this role, bring honor and continue the legacy that Chadwick Boseman started by keeping that ball rolling. It is fiction. We love the character. Let us have T'Challa, please. Okay, that's what we want. So hopefully the Russo brothers hear that. Hopefully Marvel will hear that. I think we deserve it as fans. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. But anyway, guys, y'all let me know, how do you feel about Damson Idris? Kind of sort of giving you a yes, no answer. Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right. Tyra, what you got? Put Damson as BP and I'll personally thank Feige. Hey, sure. I mean, again, we have to be specific, right? Like, yo, give us a variant T'Challa. Just variant T'Challa. Don't confuse them. Variant T'Challa, please. Variant T'Challa, not variant Black Panther, not variant Ancestor. Variant T'Challa. That's all we need. It literally fixes everything. Everything. It is your ultimate reset card. Anyway. All right, guys. I think that's it. Thank you so much for hanging out. I know I have got y'all out here past y'all bedtimes. Woo, that's what happens when I had 2 weeks worth. But I want to thank y'all so much. Thank you so much for the support of the channel. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you. All right, we have next week we will meet up. We'll talk. I want to say Ironheart comes out. I think it's this week. So whenever Ironheart comes out, I know it's going to be like the first 3 episodes. We'll do like a reaction. I'll post it, the day after or whatever, and we'll just talk about it. But yeah, we'll definitely go over Ironheart, and then I'll see you guys next week. So the routine. Have a good, safe, wonderful weekend. But wash your hands, wash your butts, and everything in between. And until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Peace.